All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome out to ESA Siege. It is an honor and a privilege, as always, being here with you tonight. I'm Slayzilla, joined by the lovely Sticula. Stick, we got a pretty good setup for our first matchup tonight. Outdone movement going up against NTNS. What do you know about these two teams, man? Anything that sticks out to you so far?
Well, I got a few things to say. The first thing to note will be NTNS. Looks like they've been making a few changes, bringing in a new coach that will be Marifix, according to my notes, and having a little bit of a different strategy maybe coming into this one. We'll be seeing Cafe come first in our series tonight. We've got three great maps as well. What do you think about Cafe, and as well as your other thoughts on the rest of the maps?
Yeah, I mean, Cafe, Oregon, Clubhouse is going to be the maps we go to. Cafe, Oregon, Clubhouse seem to be maps that we go to an awful lot here in Tier 3, but that's okay, man. You like seeing teams comfortable when they play, so nothing wrong with taking a map that you want to go to. Cafe is a fun one. Oregon's fun as well. Clubhouse is fun too. I think I don't know, out of the three OG like always sites, which were Cafe, Oregon, Cafe, Clubhouse, and Villa. I mean, I'm glad we don't have Villa, because Villa is definitely one of the harder ones to watch through, but that's okay. We're ready for Cafe. Honestly, all three of these sites, or maps rather, can be rather defender sided. So I'm interested to see how these guys will play out on that. I think it's going to be a good matchup between these two. Both of them right now are 2-2 in the series. In fact, I think there are 4 teams right now who have won 2, lost 2. So there's a lot to be gained here. I mean, you could move all the way up to the 3rd place spot if you win something here.
Yeah, and that's definitely an opportunity either of these teams are looking to take. Notably, to look at the standing side of things, both of these teams are tied at 2-2. Their most recent matches, if I take a look at my notes here, for Outdone Movement, it was an 0-2 loss versus Unreal Nightmare Academy. Pretty strong team, so not surprising to see them take such a triumphant victory. For the side of NTNS, it was a 2-0 versus Supernova. So coming off of the back of a recent win here in the ESA Rival Series, they might have some good momentum in order to propel themselves further and maybe get a little bit of a streak going.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They could definitely pick up some of that momentum and run with it. We'll have to see if that will indeed be the case. But I really am expecting good matchups between both of these teams. Like you mentioned, both of them in a really, really interesting spot. They're able to kind of be in a very similar situation, and that's going to be fun to watch. Two teams matched up well is always something we like to see here in the ESA Siege. And honestly, I just can't wait to get into Cafe Dostoevsky. We do have everybody here, so we'll be able to start in just a little bit.
Yikes.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, no. We're waiting for one more. Apparently, I can't count to 10, just 9.
Yeah, a little bit of a caster curse going on there. As soon as the words came out of your mouth, we're over here on the other screen. The guy left the lobby. So still a little bit to go in order to get ready and start the match. I guess we can talk a little bit more about the maps. You mentioned Villa being a little bit of a tougher one to watch through, and I definitely agree with that philosophy. It's been around for a long time, though. I like to see what's been going on with that map. It seems like we're seeing more and more of a trend to try to play the bottom floor sites, especially dining and kitchen. I've been seeing a whole lot of dining, especially teams that like to play really well knit together on the vertical angles. They seem to have a lot of success there. But on Cafe, we're seeing a huge trend going towards reading. I've noticed, I believe it was a video put out by Reaper EN, a former coach from the EU Pro League, talking about the viability of the objective and how being able to play up top, hold inside of Cocktail, and then drop down as you waste the time of the offense really provides you one of the most superior holds and a really high chance to win the bomb site, especially if you know how to play it right. So one good thing to note. I hope we see a little bit more of that site, though. As more teams choose to play it more frequently, it starts to get a little bit old, so maybe we'll see a resurgence of Kitchen and the top floor bomb site as those main primaries.
Yeah. I mean, traditionally, it has been bar cocktail as your primary, with kitchen as secondary, and then reading room to your tertiary site. But I'm definitely excited to see teams kind of switch up that meta, see what they want to go for. And I honestly think it'll be really interesting. I don't know if you were here for this matchup, but it was with Valkyrie when they were playing on Cafe, had a lot of success going to it was actually mining and dining. So it's definitely interesting to see how these different sides can either give the defensive team a little bit of an advantage or just throw off the attackers to a point where they just don't feel very comfortable attacking. Valkyrie able to win both of the times they defended mining dining. So it was really fun to watch. But you're absolutely right, man. A lot of these maps, a lot of these sides getting mixed up with the meta. And I think that's going to continue to change, man. Next season, or eventually, we'll have Malusi and Ace, the two guys in quarantine right now, come out, and I think that's definitely going to be fun to watch as well. I don't know if you played around with them a whole lot, but I mean, they seem to be pretty dang powerful.
Yeah, I've had a lot of kind of feedback that I've heard about Malusi, and I think she's really going to shake things up when she becomes available. Just as we kill time waiting for the fifth, or rather the 10th player, I guess, if you want to count them all up to come into the lobby, you were talking about Valkyrie and their attempt to play mining and dining. I think I tuned into that game. Obviously, Valkyrie being a champion series team, they have a little bit of an edge over everybody else with their strategies. And you talked about moving forward next season and the possibility for the meta to shake up. I hope maybe we'll see a little bit of a turnaround. Back in the early days, even before the rework, obviously, that came to Cafe, it seemed like mining and dining was possibly one of the strongest bomb sites on Cafe. So maybe we'll see a little bit of a repeating history moment there and have that objective come back into the foray.
That would be interesting as well. Still waiting on that guy, like you said, and honestly, I'm just ready to get in, man. It's been a while since we've been able to cast. Been since golly a couple days, so I'm getting warmed up, getting ready to go. I think it's going to be a phenomenal night, but I mean, we'll just have to see because at this point, both teams going to be fighting so hard for dominance. This is going to be outdone movements. Outdone. I sound like I'm Canadian myself. Outdone movements map pick. NTNS will take us to Oregon next. So we'll see at least those two maps. Clubhouse the Third is another map that I really enjoy watching. It's one of those base maps that everybody knows, but I think it's a really, really fun map to watch through. Although it can be once again a little bit defender sided. It's interesting to see sometimes though, as we've seen teams 7-0 starting on the attack on some of these maps, and it's been absolutely insane. So you really never know what's going to happen with these teams. Something crazy go. You want to try to say like, oh, this is how it's going to go, but at the end of the day, you really just don't know. We do have all 10 people in. The R's are now coming out from NTNS. We'll see if OM will join us. Outdone movement hit us with the R, and well, Sticula, I think we're just about ready to hop into round number 1 of Cafe Dostoevsky.
Yeah, so transitioning, we will be heading right on into the action. We've got Outdone movement. They will begin the game on the offensive. Going to be taking the fight to NTNS, who will hopefully have some good strategies ready for us in the bag. But before we go into round 1, like you mentioned, we will be seeing the operator bands come out, and I could put a couple $100 on the fact we'll see Thatcher come out as either first or second here for the operator bands. It seems like you really can't escape Thatcher on Cafe. He seems to chase after you. There he is, so the ban will come out. Thatcher is removed.
Yeah, Thatcher Gone is always a pretty good pick for here. I have seen a bit of Maverick being removed, but I've also seen Capital be removed too. Capital been one of those guys who comes up every now and again, but we'll see who's going to come up next.
What do you think about the Habana ban? Because I feel like Habana really has a strong presence on the top floor, because it can be kind of risky to drop down to Red Landing. And so being able to open up the wall from above on the hatch and not really risk running into a nitro cell can be a little bit of a factor that you might want to stray away from. We'll also see the Wamai band come out. And that's really one of the kind of key bands that I would see here on Cafe. The Mira as well definitely can chime in. On the top floor, especially whether or not you're holding a vertical extension or playing the bomb side itself, I feel like Wamai and Mira really contribute heavily as one of those operators, or rather, two of those operators even will see them oftentimes played in conjunction to go into effect. And so to see them removed, we'll probably see a little bit of a different meta here, especially with the Montaigne band, or rather the Montaigne pick coming out. Take a look at that. Lion too.
Ooh, oh yeah. You don't often see Lion picked out on a map that's not coastline, so I'm interested to see how this man will be able to perform. Might be 6 picked out, we'll see, but the Monty, definitely a powerful man to show in the Ying as well. Going to be 6 picked from the Maverick, and things looking pretty dang interesting here. Not a lot of these operators will you see in a traditional attack. I mean, every now and again, you will have the gridlock with the Nomad over the Nomad, but the Monty, see every now and again, Ash is almost always there. Then Ying and Lion, gonna be real interesting to see how NTNS kind of react to this attack, because I mean, it's sure to be a crazy one. Like I said, the Wamai ban is definitely key. Wamai is so good on the third floor, and oh, that is so unfortunate. Already, the alibi goes.
Yeah,
man, they're gonna have to get a dox on that.
Okay. So he had an illegal skin. I guess that was the reason why. All right. So, yeah, that's gonna really cost them. I mean, having your Wamai go down early. Interesting to see they choose the PK rather than call for a rehost for some of you that choose. As long as the preparation phase has not ended, you can call for a rehost to get things back in order. Maybe they're just trying to save it up in case they've got issues further in the game, or maybe they got some momentum behind them, and even though it is a 4v5, they're going to be prepared regardless. Though seeing the Monty, the Ying, and the Lion come out, I imagine we're going to see a little bit of a rush action come out here on Cafe for our first round, so it's going to be a little bit of a problem that they don't have the full 5, especially Alibi, who obviously has those impact grenades, which could be very crucial for site setup, as well as even maybe going for a little bit of vertical denial to shut down the plant.
Yeah, it is always frustrating losing even just a man. You know, just having the gun off the board is going to be a big advantage for Outdone movement. And look at this Lion trying to chuck in these lovely flash grenades, making sure to screen out any potential ADSs, learn their location, get them burned, as that's going to be key for the Ying. Are they actually just going to yeet down in straight up? By golly, they are. Pack it down, going for the plant immediately as it's going hard. S6, as Jason finds the first frag. S6 with another round of freezing. Now in a beautiful rush situation. It's a 5v2. TK and Ayuz left alone in a very dire situation. Ayuz will find one on Devosi, but in a 4v2, diffuser already down. It's not looking great. They have good angles onto that diffuser. What a fantastic rush in to just absolutely tear these guys apart for the first couple of seconds, and we'll see if NTNS are going to be able to stabilize here. The defuse will be attempted. Do they recognize it? They do indeed. Get a smack him, but no, he's still on it. Down goes Pekka, and now this is crazy.
He might stick it.
Defusing.
He got it. What?
NTNS defuses.
No way did they just win that.
Let that happen.
Oh, good lord, what did you just do, NTNS? What a clutch play from the smoke to come out on round number 1. I thought everything was done and dusted, that Outdone Movement had that one in the bag, but the smoke player, he's got a little bit of something to say about it. Coming off of the back of that early TK, things never really look good for NTNS, especially with the rush established, but the sneak play in the midst of the chaos, the gridlock track stingers, the smokes, the flashes, the Ying Candelas, he was successful and ultimately garnered them their first round. What a magnificent counter defuse.
Oh man, that was insane. You don't often see that, man. I expected fully for Outdone Movement to win that. I mean, they were in a 5v2 situation right off the bat within seconds. Of course, that helps with the man off the board already with the poor Alibi being bye-bye. Alibi does seem to be a operator you see a lot when Wamai is banned out. Won't be seeing him this defense, or her rather, as obviously the skin could cause issues. But we will be seeing a kitchen defense. Looks like they will save reading as their tertiary site, or they might go to mining and dining. We'll have to see after this round, but good grief, they got to be feeling great after that. Maybe shook OM off a little bit, because that was absolutely insane. I can't believe they won that out. I mean, you just saw great play after great play. The smoke able to keep going on the diffuser, just picking away at it until finally they got that defuse. And at this point, NTNS definitely starting off with a very powerful win. Let's see if OM can strike back, because that was real unfortunate for them.
Striking back will be the name of the game here as we go into number 2. Outdone Movement, after such a disappointing loss in the previous round, need to respond back with something of their own. Letting NTNS ride high off of the morale win of that last one there. is definitely going to be something they want to avoid. And I think the momentum gain in the very first map of our best of 3 series can play a big factor. Teams that are unable to shut down that early mobilization tend to reap the consequences. We see the Ash Sixer going for a little bit of a sneak play inside of Cigar Shop here, looking to have himself droned in, the top floor cleared, and that early control established.
We are seeing the G36C over the R4C, so, you know, it's up to preference, but I'm always wondering, why not just bring in the Yana if you're taking the G36C? And she has access to the same gun. Sure, you lose a speed, but you gain a little bit of armor as well. Able to tank just a little bit more. Ooh, getting a little bit sketchy here. It looks like someone's just around the corner. Chases a Vigil. He will get it. Oh my goodness. Sixer at just 1 HP. Vosi with another on the Kunai. This is a mess right now. Sixer was going for the knife, but the Vigil turned around, almost took him down. That would have been a tragedy for OM, as they're going to continue with 2 guys taking quite a bit of damage. But you know what? Quite a bit of damage is better than having 2 dead. Both roamers off the board. NTNS going to be hard pressed here.
Seems like round after round, we're just getting more and more Twitter clips for the timeline here. Sixer will take, like you mentioned, a lot of damage, though with the 2-man advantage right now. Hard to say what the effect of that will be, and if they're able to just continue building off of their early body count, we might see them not even worry about it. Sixer, though, he's going to kind of have a problem on that Ash roll. He can't exactly be the strongest spear point operator, especially when a single bullet will send him to the DBNO state. We've got a strong crossfire here as Paka, he looks to maybe drop down. They've got the freezer wall shot open. Oh no, he tried to sprint through. Freezing will respond. It's a very late refrag, but taking out Jason will remove a little bit of that projectile utility. Obviously, the Nomad, or rather Zofia with her lifeline grenades and the concussion could be a big factor. It's another flank. Freezing is able to find 2, lining up the heads and shuts down Sixer and Vosi, and it'll be 2 more to come out from TK. What a strong round, and it's 2-0 for NTNS.
Absolutely insane, man. You're seeing some great stuff from NTNS right now. Outdone movement wanted to start here on this map, but so far the defensive side has not been, or rather the offensive side has not been their play. However, I mean, you could see a 4-2 split here, which is what we might be looking at as NTNS continues to just ramp up that score. We will be heading to Reading Room. As you mentioned, this is a site that is definitely quite popular, sometimes even as not the tertiary site, but the primary or even secondary. This time it will be the tertiary site that we go to. And honestly, NTNS have a great chance here. I mean, it's a very powerful site. Cafe has the benefit of not having too many sites that are really, really weak in comparison. I mean, Reading, you basically hold the same setup almost as if you were holding Bar Cocktail. You'll pull a little bit further back towards the east, not bothering with taking too much control over Piano, as those soft worlds don't really matter too much. But we will be seeing a really, really strong hold here, I'm sure. You see a lot of great operators used to waste utility. We're talking about the Jaeger, the Goyo, the Castle, and then Smoke and Maestro as your 2 endgame operators. Really looking to put a lot of pressure onto the OM guys, because they absolutely cannot afford to let these guys do a flawless rotation on them and start again back at bar. That would be a real problem right off the bat.
5 seconds remaining.
So like you mentioned, we've got primarily a focus on wasting time, wasting utility. I think this is a pretty standard setup that we see from the side of NTNS. A look at the operators. Aside from the Goyo, who is one of the new kids on the block here for the Defender team, everything else looks to be a little bit towards what we would see traditionally. Obviously, the Maestro having those evil eyes so he can stay alert with that intel. TK will take a significant amount of damage. Looked like it was the Nomad with an early repel. He's going to deal what could be a deadly blow if somebody else tries to chip in on the Goyo player. Could be a little bit of a problem, though he escapes with his life. A close gambit.
Indeed. You know, TCSG off the board would be nice for them, but unfortunately, like you said, TK going to be able to run away, get out of there alive. And look at this Sixer once again. G36C in hand is taking control of Cigar area, wanting to slowly push in, make sure you can take as much utility out as possible. You see those nades going in, those flash grenades rather. A little bit of a breaching round, just trying to take down that pesky shield. Opening kills have been so influential, and look, the shield still stands. Both of the charges used, and well, that is going to be an unfortunate beginning for Sixer, already out of utility, but just one flashbang left. Well, Ash is just now are like nothing but a little fragger, and that is unfortunate. Can't even take out Evil Eyes. If she tried, it'll be Kunai with the first frag, and a Jason. Down goes the other person who can take down Mamai, but oh my goodness, Sixer dropped as well. Kunai with a double kill already, and NTNS looking so good, but Pickles refrags onto the player of Jaeger, and now it's a 3v4 situation in favor of NTNS, but quickly even more so. A little bit less as Pocket finds another. It's a 2v3 situation. Things have been devolving quite quickly, as now we will see a couple more guys come back. It's the Goyo. Look at this, the Maverick gonna start getting pinged out, zapped a little bit, zippity zappity boopity bop, and take down the lovely Evil Eye. But at this point, gonna be tough. Look at that health on Outdone movement.
Yeah. So the trade game definitely been a huge factor in this round, and then we'll see another kill to come out here. Maverick, obviously the Pack is able to find one.
Bruh.
Pickles responds with another, and it's all left up to TK. He's got round about 35 health here. He's got the TCSG in hand with 2 low health players. This is a powerful gun if you hit your shots, though it seems like Maverick, he might have a little bit of a heads up on the position of Goyo. Pickles will swing in, collecting. He doesn't even need a body shot. He just taps heads to secure this round. The flawless rotation denied. It's 2-1.
That's huge, man. Flawless rotation denied, like you said, is absolutely what you want to see out of these guys in Outdone movement. Because at this point, you're shooting for a 4-2. Heading back upstairs to Bar Cocktail. Honestly, this could have gone the other way easily. They did try a little bit of a janky hop in, get the plant down method that was punished. But, I mean, they had an initial lead of 5-2. I could definitely see these guys come out and just shred them if they want to. We'll see, man. At this point, I think they're going to go for more of that normal take. You don't see the lovely Man Montaigne. You don't see the Lion. Instead, it'll be much more of a basic setup, what you expect. And I think this is going to work a little bit better. Unless NTNS continues to play like they're absolutely killing it, because they have been absolutely killing it. You see the lovely Negade there going to take down a little bit of the flooring just to cover up one of those default plant places. Be able to shoot them from above, which is or below, which is absolutely fantastic. We'll see how this round goes, because at this point NTNS want to move on to that 3-1. At the same time, Outdone movement with a chance to tie us up 2-2 and continue to push onward. It's gonna be a crazy round here. This is a big one early on to the matchup.
5 seconds remaining.
So we've got the Pulse and the Doc to come out here. Two, a little bit, I could say, unusual operators for a third floor hold. What is your opinion of that? You think maybe the Pulse just trying to play below, get a couple of cheeky Nitro kills? There's no IQ in play from the side of OM, so an opportunity to shut that down is going to be purely based on going down there yourself and finding him out. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Pulse can be very effective. I mean, he's a great operator gaining intel, like you said, just absolutely wrecking people's lives with C4 from below. But you sacrifice the good gun of, say, something else for the UMP5, as it just makes it a little bit, or UMP45, excuse me. And already, that ump is going to be going at it as Vosi dies. Look at how he's going, already saying that, hey, I'm going to be a full asset here. What a shot. And, you know, he's going to definitely be able to prove his worth a little bit there. These operators, they can be very, very good, but we'll see if the C4 will claim the life of another. C4 kills, in my opinion, are one of the hardest kills to refrag upon, just because oftentimes, I mean, everyone around you is on the same floor, and the guy getting you is usually on that second floor, the floor below you, and it's just almost unrefraggable for at least a good couple of seconds, and that can be really, really tough on a team to allow extra time, as one of those evil eyes will be picked off.
It's definitely a good point to bring up. I think another issue with refragging a nitro kill, as we see Paka able to shut down the IGL players freezing on the Maestro, is that when you die to a nitro, it's kind of hard to know that you're going to die, whereas, more normally, if you're just taking a gunfight, you can kind of call out maybe you need some help, or even you've got somebody throwing you in. But to move forward here, we've got 1 minute and 5 seconds roughly on the clock. Flash grenade will fly in. The ADS looked like absorbed one of Ash's breaching rounds. Nope. He's still got 2 in the pocket, so waiting for an opportunity. Another flashbang will roll in as Paka. He's inside of Cocktail, collecting with 1 onto Evo. Holding position here inside the bar as Six are able to claim another one. Paka able to claim his 3rd. It's another massive multi-kill here on Cafe. We've got 40 seconds. The plant has begun. Good coverage from the side of Outdone movement, and they're still just going to wait here. It's going to be a difficult gunfight to win, but he comes out on top, shutting down the Ash, though not able to collect any more. Pickles shuts down that attempted clutch. Outdone movement, they tie us up 2-2 with a strong attack on the top floor bomb site.
Oh, that's looking real good, man. I'm not talking about the LRD5 with a sledgehammer infused to it. I'm talking about Outdone movement. I'm saying like OM and Outdone movement at the same time, and it's turning into Outdone movement. So not trying to be a Canadian here, I swear, but I mean, they've been able to come back 2 rounds in a row, tying it up. And at this point, if you're the guys over on NTNS, you got to be a little bit worried because they've got some serious momentum going back to Bar Cocktail. This is going to be where the cards will fall. Does Outdone movement have the strength to win again here, or will we see NTNS take another round? If so, they could potentially go back down to Kitchen and secure that 4-2 half. But at this point, I mean, to be able to win on this site is huge for Outdone movement. And I'm really excited. Once again, big times up here in the Bar Cocktail range. Let's see how it goes for round 5.
Yeah, I talked about in a little bit of a spat earlier when we started things off that you can kind of ride high off the momentum, and maybe that's what we saw from NTNS. They got a really clutch round, which would have really propelled their morale way up to the ceiling, and so maybe they were kind of living off of that for our second round going down to the Kitchen. And after that win, things started to wear off a little bit. It's a strange decision to see them return to the top 4 when I believe Kitchen is available, and maybe that's the decision to make, or head down to Reading, give it another try. But after losing that last one, going to be a tough decision to ratify. We see the pulse has been switched off, though the dock remains, so a little bit of a decision that needed to be made here. Prep phase is over. We're ready to go. Round number 5 is on its way.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be interesting to see. No pulse on the board. Should make it a little bit safer to win round. You only see 1 C4 coming out, and that will be from the Mute, who they switched onto, I believe. So a pretty solid setup for defense, but I mean, Outdone movement have been looking real good for a couple rounds now, and at this point, NTNS have got a lot of work to do. Early picks are huge, but you saw the early pick come out from the pulse, ended up not meaning too much at all, as Outdone movement just continued to move in, get their kills, win their gunfights, and eventually step through as the victors for round 4. If they can do it again, they'll secure at least a 3-3 half, threatening their own 4-2. And a 4-2 on the offense is absolutely huge. There's a little bit of a peek here, trying to find the man holding the shield down there. No Wamai, so it's going to be a lot easier to get through. Only 6 different projectiles can be taken down by the ADS. That's 2 apiece. So you don't have to worry about burning through everything. IU's going to go down as well now, and there it is. Beautiful job onto that lovely little shield, and now we got Sixer moving in, takes down IU's, but immediate refrag from TK. Now a 4v4. These things are heating up with about half the round to go.
The trade game seems strong and alive here. Sixer might have gotten a little bit too aggressive there in an attempt to claim his kill, and his teammate rallied to the call. Came, though he was unable to save him, he at least traded, and so the man count will be even. We've got a little bit of an evil eye pestering the offense here. I'm not sure if that was inside of Cigar or possibly somewhere inside the bomb site, shooting through the open cart wall. Might be able to get taken out here, though, with a stupendous amount of utility. Could be a problem. Oh, what a shot! Shot so nice, made my voice crack there. He's able to score it, and we've taken control of the bomb site. Kunai with 1, though he'll go down. Paka to trade it out, though Vosi, with one of his own Outdone movement, answered their previous round win with an even more strong one. What a setup there. I don't know. I'm lost for words in that round. Just an absolute slaughter.
Excellent stuff there, man. Outdone movement really coming in their own. I think they feel so comfortable right now. And if you look at some of the teams that these guys have gone up against in the past, it's going to be really interesting as this continues to go on. I mean, we've seen Outdone movement get wrecked by Digital Dynasty, and it'll be really, really fun here because you see Supernova Supernova has been beat out by both Outdone movement and NTNS. In fact, these guys really haven't faced the top teams yet. So that'll be interesting to see. It seems like Digital Dynasty, who were able to beat Outdone movement. But so far, this is a big, big night for both of these guys, as NTNS still have to face Digital Dynasty, Unreal Nightmare in the coming weeks. Those are the two top-rated teams. So they definitely want to be able to get a lot more, I guess, respect as they go, and being able to win and put themselves into third place would be huge. And then facing on the two biggest in the league gives them a great chance to overcome them. So really, really a couple big weeks coming up for both teams. Going to be interesting. They have not faced a team like each other before, and you can tell that they're pretty well matched up, but Outdone movement, as we head over to the kitchen, has a chance to run away with it, and that is scary for NTNS. You don't want to lose 4-2. You don't want to have a 3-3 half, to be honest, when you're on defensive side of Cafe. It happens more and more often, but you want to be able to be in that position, which at this point, NTNS is not. They've lost the lead, and Outdone movement in the driver's seat, sitting very comfortably. They're controlling this matchup, and it is, at this point, their half to lose.
Thinking about the situation we're in terms of the standings here is super important to talk about the storyline for this game. These teams, they're virtually tied. I mean, just so close here. So this match really means it all. Obviously, no ties here in the ESA Rival Series, so we will have a victor. One team will come out on top, even if it needs to go all three maps. I talked to Kunai, the entry fragger for NTNS, and his team, they're really visionaries. They've got huge plans to head through. Obviously, being from Quebec, they've got plans to head over to the Canadian Pro League, so we might see that be something in the future. Not sure if this player in Cocktail has gone misdrone, as we see AU's able to find one. The Jaeger maybe be given an opportunity to rotate? Not sure yet. He's still just holding position. We've got, looks like a pretty wide hold of the top floor here. Oh no, Sixer, he goes down. NTNS with two strong opening picks here. This looks like their round to answer back, to draw the half. We've still got Kunai, still got AU's, the Vigil player, holding hard on the top floor, making sure that the attackers, they're not able to take this without a struggle. The struggle continues. Kunai shutting down Paco, one of the strongest players from the side of Outdone movement. And if you look at the stats, he is the strongest player, 7 picks so far. To see him go down with that one brings me a couple of questions, though. Vosi shuts down AU's, not quite ready to take that gunfight inside of Rita.
Yeah, Pocky and Pickles have been the duo that were able to win out on that tough reading site just a couple of rounds ago. To see them both gone definitely is going to be a little bit tougher for Outdone movement to win this out. But NTNS looking very strong here with less than a minute to go. Jason and Vosi have a very, very tall order to fulfill, and it's not going to be easy. 2v4 is never easy, but put the time constraints on that as well, and you are looking down the barrel at a very, very tough situation for Outdone movement. NTNS looking to end this half at a 3-3. Still, I would call that a victory in Outdone movement's favor, but Jason going to go down to Kunai. What a shot from the Jaeger player. Takes him down, and now it's just Vosi on the Nomad, left alone. 12 bullets left in the ARX. Going to be able to shoot all of them out, but one to make sure you don't have to do the long reload animation. And now at this point, with just no time left, that'll be NTNS winning yet another round up here and put us to a nice... Ooh, getting shocked a little bit, and he will end up going down. That'll be a 3-3 half there, Stikula. Pretty even Steven. But now Outdone movement onto the defense could cause problems.
So it looked like NTNS, they were kind of struggling to find a round there, but Outdone movement on that last one kind of failed on the roam clear. That's the best way I can put it. There were so many players on the top floor that were simply allowed to persist for far too long. And ultimately, what that meant is NTNS, or rather Outdone Movement, they just had to keep worrying. Is somebody going to come on down behind me? When you don't succeed in a roam clear, there's really no path to victory, because as you begin your execute, you not only have to worry about so many angles traditionally on the main bomb site that you're executing on, but it just adds a whole nother factor. It's somebody, when you're getting ready to push on into sight, to just come up from behind you. It creates a ton of uncertainty, really does not help the confidence, and ultimately to see so many players go down so early last round, going to be something they really need to not let happen if we go to overtime here. NTNS, I think they're in a decent position here. You talk about Outdone Movement taking 3 attacker wins. Definitely a good look for them, though I think with things drawn out here, we're going to be seeing a little bit of explosiveness in this second half of Cafe.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be a crazy second half. I mean, it's drawn up to be 3-3, gives a little bit of an advantage. They did a great job winning out on their offensive attacks, but here, as they switch to the defense, I mean, all they have to do is secure a 4-2 and they win the map. That's all they need to do. NTNS is going to be forced to win 3 out of the 6 coming sites, and that is going to be tough. That is going to be real tough, but if they do it, we'll head to overtime. If they do anything better, though, then NTNS will gain the map. So this is going to be a big round to really tell how the rest of this map will go. Outdone Movement could easily take a nice little lead. NTNS at the same time, if they take the lead here already on Cocktail, that could spell doom for Outdone Movement if they are not very careful for the remaining next sites. I mean, this is a big one. Once again, we've been saying that a lot, that these sites have been very impactful so far, and this is no different.
So maybe a little bit of a difference in philosophy here for the defense. Kunai will open things up. He shuts down Vosi. Oh my, what a pick. They're on the sledge. Will get a good one. Killing Jaeger incredibly early. The sledge will kind of make a questionable decision there. He takes a little bit of damage, though. Clearing out this player from Pixel is definitely a big win for the offense. Taking a life with them when we would usually see, that player just waste time and then flank back, going to allow them a lot more flexibility. As I say that, though, we've hit the 1 minute 35 mark. They're going to need to try and speed things up here in order to regain that momentum and stay in control. Looks like that last defender, the sole bastion on the top floor, will go down. He just decides to rotate. Stays with his life here with 1 minute and 20 on the clock. Though, as I say that, it's a 4-on-4, a Nitro self from Paka, and you've always got to be worrying about that. Kunai dead. What do you think that's going to mean for the rest of the round here?
Well, I mean, obviously, South Asia is going to be a little bit tougher to get. You do see the lovely Zofia using both of her impact charges to do just that. But at this point, TK taking down Jason looks real nice. That's another C4 at the board. They only have 1 more. They brought 3 into the round. But now it's just Goya with the final. And this is going to get very intense here as Zeus finds another onto Paka. Things looking great for NTNS right now on their first attacking side. And just like that, he used with another kill. Outdone Movement pushed into a corner. It's just the Goyo left in a 1v4 situation. Unfortunate, as C4 is very rarely going to pick up all 4 of those kills, so we'll have to see the Vector in action. Good shots, takes down IU, is going to finish him off in a 1v3 situation with down. This is going to be tough. If he clutches this one out, he'll go down in history as one of the best in the business, but that's if he clutches it out. Chances are he won't, and just like that, Evo shuts him down. Sixer with a great try, but it just is not going to be happening here.
What a setup there, and a great execution from NTNS. They choke the life out of Outdone Movement and take another round. Starting things off here on their attacking side with a good solid win on that middle floor bomb side is definitely going to put them in the position that they need to be. 3-4 here. They've got a single round lead. Hard to say whether or not that's going to mean anything just yet, and we could very well see Outdone Movement respond to tie things up. But if they continue to build upon that, their 2-round streak so far could move to 5, and we might see them end it early here on Cafe. I believe this was their pick, so we could see them come out with some nice strats. And talking about those strategies, we've got a 6th pick. Echo over to the Clash. We don't often see Clash, but I think she's got a lot of merit when you're trying to slow down the offense, taking either of the main routes to this bomb site. Notably, though, I think she'll be incredibly effective inside of Cigar, and if the attack, they fail to shut her down, we might see a little bit of an issue. Though I think there's plenty of utility to counter her, so it'll be kind of a dance to see whether or not she is countered.
Oh yeah, I mean, losing your Clash early is definitely a big problem that Sixer could face, but we've seen crazy things done with the Clash, and I'm excited to see if we will see some pretty insane plays from Sixer here. Clash can be so effective in slowing down an attack, and maybe that's what they want to do, really make it tough to pull this one out, as so far it has been absolutely insane. I mean, here we go. It's round 8 already, and Outdone movement need to be able to catch up here. They've gone to Bar Cocktail, and they don't want to lose this at all. That's why they're bringing out the Clash. They're hoping that's going to be their ace in the hole, but I mean, what if not? What if they end up still having some struggles, even with the Clash? That could place them in a very damaging position. You said it, NTNS just 3 rounds off of winning this map. Outdone movement's pick, and they'd move on to Oregon. It's getting a little bit sketchy here. Outdone movement can't keep it a close game. They need to be able to do that. With NTNS really threatening them here, and if they continue to allow that to happen, it could be a very short cafe that we end up seeing. Outdone movement looking good for a couple rounds, but NTNS have very good comeback ability, some great refrag ability as well, as we've seen before, and if they're able to continue to just pressure these guys, it's going to be so difficult for them to win out. Kunai already taking a lot of damage. The IQ tagged to about 75 or about 25 HP. And already Vosi finds a use. That's a great pick. The Zofia off the board, as well as a very hot hand for the team of NTNS.
Can we see this player prone behind the bar? Like, what is going on there? Pickle's just kind of hiding. Well, either way, he's just going to hide here for possibly the remainder of the round. If they try to rush in and go for a plant, he could be a real difference maker. We've got the Clash. We talked about the utility that can be needed in order to shut her down, and AU's dying is going to be a significant blow therein. Jason will get another one, shutting down the IQ. That's a really good kill to see come out here. NTNS looked good in the early round, but things have started to deteriorate. Their successes prior, not so much in this one.
Oh yeah, it's getting a little bit rough, but that doesn't mean they're quite out of it yet. However, neither are they quite out of the woods here, as a little bit of Maverick will go down. Not a whole lot of breachability coming from the soft breach area, as you've got the IQ dead as well as the Zofia. It's going to be tough to open up this wall even after it's tricked, so we'll see how that one goes here. Really trying to get that wall soft, but at this point, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough to see. We do still have the Clash bugging them. 30 seconds left. NTNS really struggling to answer this question of how are you going to win this one out? They just don't seem to know. They need to be able to get around there and try to do something, as you will see the Thermite use his charge, opening up a section of that wall, trying to get these guys into an advantageous position, but NTNS have really been slowed down here as Outdone movement looks to tie the score count out. Nade's gonna go, but that's right into a big problem as Baka finds 2 freezing gups, and there it is, Vosi with the final kill. A little bit of trade, but that will be the win coming out for Outdone movement, tying things up at 4-4.
I wish we could go back and take an overlay look at that setup. They spent so much time to get the freezer wall open, but that's exactly what the defenders, they spent the whole preparation phase and even some of the action phase getting ready for it. Notably, that castle on what is commonly known as kind of the trash freezer door. There's a couple of trash bags, something I came up with, but they castled that off. And so what it meant is that the path to get into plant was either to open up the cart wall, which is directly next to that door, try to force in through cigar shop, or maybe come in near default. But the attackers never invested in that, and they played right into the plan from the defense, and I think that's where you went wrong. Another thing to bring up, the offense, having the Nomad use her utility not to get the Clash, and then having AUs die before using his lifeline significantly prolonged their issues. When you've got a Clash with her shield just standing in that doorway, there's not much you can do, especially if you've already committed fully to the main cigar push and you don't have somebody on sort of the east side of the map sitting on that window, really not a good look. And ultimately, a great round. I think that's OM, if I have to say, their strongest round so far. And it really has to do with their strat. I'm going to definitely come back and look at that one again. I think it's got a ton of potential, but we will move forward. Now, we've got the kitchen bomb site to look.
Oh yeah, the kitchen can be very, very powerful as well. We've seen it won before on various sides, but Outdone movement look to push themselves into a really good position. One team will be walking out into a nice 5 score count, and one team will be staying at 4, so it's going to be big again to see who gets this, but Outdone movement just a couple rounds away from winning, but at the same time, NTNS the same amount of rounds away from taking the map 1. That's 3. All they have to do is win 3, and already Kunai taking out 6er is not a great start. Down goes the Bandit, as no more tricking will be allowed. So for a very, very promising start, that's a great guy to get off the board. You still have to worry about Paka. Paka on 10 kills already. Highest in the game is somebody to watch for. He's actually playing the castle role, which is interesting. You might expect to see him in Jaeger with that dragging kills. A little bit of a swing from Kanai, not going to be able to find anybody. But there goes Paka, beautiful shot from Freezing, and this looks great for NTNS. Already 2 down, just 3 to go, and they're pressuring these guys very, very well.
Starting things off, you talked about getting 2 opening picks that'll really drive the force here on the kitchen. We've got the Maverick. He's getting the wall open there. AU's on that very strong reverse repel. This is a position that is so, so difficult to try and take on. You've got only a sliver of an angle. The Jaeger, though, he beats out Kunai. Jason with one of his own. It was looking so good for the defense, or rather for the offense, but things continue to go back and forth. We've got AU's attempting to stop the bleeding here, maybe try and push back a little bit, trading the player inside of Kitchen Prep. It's 2 on 3. Pickles and Bosi going to have to make a good attempt here. We've got 3 men alive, though AU's a little bit worse for wear.
Oh, just a little bit, man. We're talking about like 1 whiff from a nice placed gas, so will take the poor guy out. So he's got to be very careful. At this point, things looking still a little bit dire for both teams. It could go any way, honestly. But as time begins to tick down to about 45 seconds left, the advantage will start to grow in favor of the defense. As said, Pickles does go down. Looks to be finished out as well. He's still surviving, but here comes the move from Prep Room. Beautiful finish from Bosi onto Freezing. Another from Bosi. Picks up the triple kill, looking for the quad. Here it is. It's IU's versus Bosi with Pickles on the ground. Gonna get very intense here with just 19 seconds. OM have a great chance of winning this one out. AU's with the plant will start it going down. That's good to get the pressure onto the defense. Plant down, but the health on both guys not very much at all. The quad kill confirmed, and that'll be a great win from the defensive side of Outdone movement to secure 1 point closer to their match point.
Defenders have disabled the bomb diffuser.
You talked about maybe Paka being that player you might want to put on the Jaeger. Bosi, he really justifies that pick. A quad kill, 4-piece. Tapping those heads. Outdone movement looked like they were down for the count, but NTNS ultimately fumbled the bag there and were not able to get any damage onto him. I don't think he took a single bullet during those last couple of engagements there, and ultimately finding the success in order to propel Outdone movement 5-4 here. They've got what could be the lead necessary to close things out. I really think the match point can kind of sneak up on you.
Oh, it really can, man. It'll be, you're just chilling, and all of a sudden, like, whoa, Outdone movement. How did you do this? You're at match point, and I mean, really, they're only 1 round away from taking that match point and putting a really, really tough position into NTNS's hands. And it could happen right here in Reading. They're looking for the perfect rotation here. Bar, Kitchen, Reading. If they can perform that, I mean, chances are that they win this out and we head to Oregon. Outdone movement 1 up. But, I mean, NTNS have shown us crazy things before. It comes down to not the opening pick so much, but those dying moments is how are you going to be able to perform when all the cards are laid out on the table, the life has been spent, you're in a 1v1, and honestly, whoever can come up on that flame and really, really shine is going to be the team that absolutely takes this round. Like you said, a very powerful sight this does tend to be, and a little bit of soft reaching will be required. Kunai and IU is really the only one fit to do that, and if those guys go down early, this round could very easily go to Outdone movement.
Speaking of early, I just looked back at my notes for round number 7, which was the last time we saw reading, and the only thing it just says is early. So clearly there was some kind of fast play that went on in that round. We'll have to see if the same is true. Round number 10, we've got 2 minutes 30, the attack doing everything necessary to prepare, and ultimately shutting down anybody holding on the top floor is going to be your key to success. Reading is entirely focused on shutting down or really preserving your vertical play. I think what I meant when I said early was picks from the defense. Vosi claiming the life of AU's, one of the strongest fraggers. Ton of gun skill on that man. He won't get to use it in this round, though. Mozzie, with that 11th pick, will tie things up with AU's kill count, though the man advantage being in their favor. What a shot from Kunai. He had the frag grenade in hand, but he quickly pulls up the L85 to match. 4-4 here. Jaeger going down early, not a good plan here. Though with 1:40, I guess you could say the time he spent was well worth it. The attack, they need to get things going here and take the rest of the top floor. Worrying about what's left, going to either punish you or maybe it'll serve you right. Though with no Oryx in play, they can't look to maybe reclaim the top floor. That utility removed, 1:20. What do you think will be the next step?
Well, next step is setting up for the execute here, and the setup will include this right here, this lovely, lovely vertical control being established. That's why you wanted to have Kunai up. You lost the use who could potentially be beneficial if Kunai died, but Kunai is the main, I guess, operator. Besides Buck, in opening things up and getting that vertical control established. That's what we're seeing here done. We have less than a minute to go, but at this point, the setup is looking pretty good. You're putting pressure onto those anchors, and you just need to get ready to go in and try to get these big kills, these big frags that are going to count so much. And if you can find them, it's going to be a great situation for NTNS. Outdone movement, though, the time is now on their side as their friend. Ooh, beautiful shot from Kunai into pocket. The man didn't expect it. And now it's just Vosi, Sixer, and Pickles left in a 3v4 with just 20 seconds to go.
The execution is going to have to come now and come fast. We've got 15. Little bit of time left here, though. Pickles will shut things down. He takes out Kunai, freezing going down as well. The kill is confirmed. Vosi able to find it. TK is going to be protecting the diffuser, though Evo goes down. It's all left up. Vosi, he hits the shot. Outdone movement. They finish things out here, and the match point we talked about earlier is achieved. 6-4, the defuse is completed. OM, they push forward on Cafe and might look to take a 7-4.
So they did what the guys at NTNS could not. They performed the flawless rotation, and that says a lot about this team. They're very, very strong, and you do have to wonder, NTNS, can you keep up with these guys? Both teams have some great fraggers. If we look at the stats real quick, I think both teams have about 2 nearing that 10K or on that 10K. So yeah, you got Pak and Vosi with 10-13, and then Kunai and Ayuz with 10-11. So both teams have 2 big fraggers that are kind of going out, just battle of the titans here. And they're both performing really well, but at the end of the day, it's just been Outdone movement, outdoing them just a little bit and heading up to Bar Cocktail. Like you said, Stick, this could be the last round we see here on Cafe.
This will really be the one that decides it all. We've seen from the side of Outdone movement, taking a look back at my notes, they were successful in the third floor, and it seemed like the clash they brought was really the difference maker. Though we see a completely different strategy in this round. No cast, and it seems like maybe we've had a couple of other operators switched around, so I think they're kind of predicting that NTNS are going to look to the past and try to fix the issues present in round number 8. But We won't be sure until the clock strikes 0 and everything is done. Whether or not NTNS, they have another chance to maybe bring things to overtime, or Outdone Movement, they give us a little bit of a break before we head into Oregon. Outdone Movement claiming this one would not really surprise me. I mean, it's their map pick. Those things have been decently back and forth. We've seen a couple of crazy rounds, you could say. I don't think teams have really differentiated too much than what I might be able to predict. We've got the Maverick creeping on up to the building. He takes good care to make sure no runouts or spawn peaks are happening. We don't see a Valkyrie, which is another little bit of an unusual thing. Valkyrie, I think, can be really strong in her runouts. If you take a look at a really top team, we saw, I believe it's In Control Nation. They've got Defiance. He loves to play Valkyrie, and he just runs out every map. Doesn't matter what it is, and he goes crazy. But not going to be the momentum, or rather the modus operandi. That's what I was looking for from Outdone Movement. Just going to play the thing safe and not do anything too quick.
So a pretty interesting setup here, looking like we do have the Pixel Shield placed, but once again, without the Wamai, gonna make it tough. You actually have this guy protected from both sides with that other Goyo shield, but NTNS still trying to figure out how they want to move this. Beautiful shot onto Pocket IUs. Looking real good there. C4 gonna be baited out and missed. Pocket says well played, and that was well played indeed. IUs is someone you gotta look out for. Same with Kunai. Both these guys are just fragging out for their team, but not too far behind is TK and Freezy with 5 kills each. That said, you got Pickles and Sixer with 5 and 6. I mean, both teams have some pretty good support coming out. This is gonna get really interesting here if NTNS can pull it out. We could potentially see them march us to overtime, but overtime is a long ways away. Doing a little bit of damage is Kunai looking for the frag onto one of those defending players. We've now got IUs ready to move in as well. Kunai does get dropped. Will he be finished off? That's an entirely different question, but the flank coming out from IUs could be massive. Going very slow. Looks like he will be picked up by his buddy Thermite. Still, NTNS in a very dominant position if they can use it correctly. Here we go. Pickles trying to drop down, get a little bit of a flank around. Interesting with the Maestro play. But this is going to get quite intense. You've got some great map control from IUs. At the same time, OM looking powerful this game.
Close gunfight there. The Goyo looks a little bit distracted by that repelled player, and he will serve AUs a pick. Kunai, not very good on the health, though it is a 3v4. Things could change. 2-on-4 now as Kunai hits the head, claims Jason, Vosi with one of his own inside of the bar. 20 seconds to begin the execute here in the offense. They've really got the advantage, though. Vosi, oh no, a nade sails in and makes the deep freezer room his tomb. Getting taken out here. It's a 1-on-4. Pickles will need to shut down this plant. He opens up the Evil Eye and could go make Evo go down here. Is it going to be successful? It will! He gets the diffuser! Oh, he barely has enough time. He switches to the other Evil Eye. They're going to be running frantically. What a round. Oh, the Thermite. He body blocks it. What a good teammate. The diffuser will go down. Evo, the MVP in this one. He's going to confirm his kill anyway, switching over to the other Evil Eye, and the post plant will continue to be played by Outdone Movement. It's going to be forced into the waiting jaws of NTNS. Slapped in the face by an air jab. Launched backwards here, and the diffuser is not in a very smart position for him. He will be able to claim one. Outdone Movement could take this round, though looks like TK, he's repositioned. He's got the winning position here up on the roof. Just gonna wait, and it looks like Pickles, he's well aware of that. Rushing back to the diffuser, but not enough time. Just gonna wait here. TK saving the KD, NTNS, they disarm the bomb and find success. 7-5 now, and we might even all see this go to overtime.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're just one round away from NTNS taking us to that overtime. And I mean, going 6-6 is that would confirm 3-3 for both attacking halves, which is really interesting. Something we see more and more often here in Cafe. So I'm definitely excited to see if NTNS has what it takes. But at the same time, back again to Bar, they get another chance to fix what happened. And if they can do it correctly, they could go for the win. I mean, you saw how close it was. Maestro just about took down the Nomad with the Evil Eye. You saw the health on that poor Nomad. It was not very much. And at this point, let's see how they can do, because NTNS is a very strong team. Outdone Movement, a very strong team as well, but it's going to come down to the simple question: can you outpace the other team? Last round, you saw some great plays that really did just that. And at this point, Outdone Movement have one last chance to kill him, take him out before the end of regulation.
So an even different strategy here. Looks like Outdone Movement, they're kind of going through the paces. Now, we might see a little bit of a hold inside of Cigar Shop. I've seen this strategy come out a few times where you'll place that deployable and then maybe have the castle come and lock things off. I'm not sure really what the correct thing to do was here, or is here. I would have liked to see the Clash Castle combination come out again. I think it's really an innovative strategy, but it is kind of understanding that you don't really want to repeat strategies. That can hurt you in the long term. Outdone Movement, they'll get the castle barricade in position. We move forward.
We do indeed. We march onwards with NTNS having a chance. It ties up 6-6, takes the overtime for our first map, and if that happens, we could very well be seeing a long first beginning. And well, I know that's all what we're hoping for, but at the same time, OM wants to shut these guys down. We'll see if that's going to happen. Little sneaky plays here from Kunai, trying to get something done. Blasting things open with one of his charges. He only has one left. And NTNS with a big chance to go all out and win this, take us to overtime, while Outdone Movement looks to shut them down right here, right now. It's going to be very close, going to be very intense. And, I mean, it's going to start with most likely that classic piano take. Choose what you see, but, I mean, who knows? With these teams, we've seen crazy things. Let's throw back to the first round ever for Outdone Movement. Just an insane hop-in with the Lion, the Monty, and everyone throwing smokes. Ended up getting the plant down, but NTNS were able to outdo them and shut it down. So it's been a crazy matchup for this first map, and it's sure to be crazy as we continue onward, but we might not for a couple of minutes if NTNS is able to win out here.
Reloading, cover me.
I'm still kind of curious what that Ash breaching round was for earlier. Maybe we'll see as we close in on the execute. The castle shield blocking off the cigar shop has been removed, it looks like, so the player inside becomes a little bit more vulnerable. All he's got left is the shield, and we'll see him start to take a little bit of damage. AU's continues to push on in. They spot the leg and collect the kill. AU's scoring 14 so far, been a huge impact player through all 12 rounds and into number 13, or rather into number 12 as we just finished our 11. Jason remains inside the freezer. Hopefully we don't see a repeat of what happened last round where the frag grenade flew through the air and just locked him inside. He made the decision to just stay there, and maybe he'll change things up this time. A lot of utility flies through to the white stairs, but Freezing able to collect onto Vosi. A good one there, and I think they might have been a little bit prepared for that. Jason will respond. He's able to collect. Freezing goes down.
This is getting a little bit intense, man. Kunai with a good frag on his sixth, down to a 2v4 situation. It's Pickles and Jason left. However, it's just Pickles left. And Pickles is dead. So you know what that means. We're headed over to a overtime. This is going to be real fun. I'm excited for this. But the question is, who's going to come out on top? At this point, I don't know. The fact is, though, Outdone Movement with an advantage starting on the defense could be what wins this for them.
Like you mentioned, Outdone Movement kicking things off on overtime, though I think they kind of struggled a little bit to fight against NTNS in those last few couple of rounds. I think it could be a mix of factors, you know, NTNS wanting to stay in the fight and not take the loss, though obviously going way back, Outdone Movement, after taking an initial round loss on reading, they were able to string 3 together, winning the third floor bar, kitchen, and reading back to back to back. And so maybe they'll get that at least in one round, and all they'll need is really to win one defense and then find some success on the offensive side. Outdone movement looked mixed, you could say, though a couple of early mistakes, like you just said, that fast plant going completely wrong. Hopefully they don't reattempt it. Going down to kitchen, pretty default stuff, not much to say. We've got Vosi, once again, he's on the Jaeger. If you think about last time we saw Vosi playing on kitchen, he was able to drop 4, a quad kill. He was really Outdone movement's only hope in that round, and he might have that same responsibility placed on his shoulders once again. He's able to collect 15 so far, so it's really going to be a big ask of him to find 5 more and make it 20.
You can stop worrying about grenades now.
Yeah, I mean, never easy to do that, but if there's anyone who can do it, it's certainly him. The man's been going off. Can't forget about Kunai, however, we can now, as Ash is already dead. What a shot from Sixer, good grief. Just immediately shut down the NTNS Ash entry fragger, and that is a great way to start off your first round in overtime. Outdone movement on the defense, looking strong right off the bat, but that has changed many times before. Flashes coming in, that's going to hurt the eyes of the Doc sitting in Bakery. They want to hold on to control here. He's going in, pushing him out, taking down to about 50 HP. He will be able to heal himself up if he wants to, but the man's being held very, very, very tightly. He will heal up to about 97 HP, but a lot of pressure coming in from Bakery. They want to control this at this point. Let's see how Jason responds, because it's going to be one of the first big impacts we see. Already Kunai going down is a big, big upset for NTNS to want to keep those guys alive as long as possible. And it looks like we will see the man escape inside. Jason, with his life, will move on. That was a pretty good way to just kill some times. We're now down to just about the final half of this round. 30 seconds and a minute to go. Let's see what NTNS can do with a little bit of a man disadvantage.
Seems like me and you were on the same page here. I was surprised to see him survive that, even with the ADS wasted. Taking down Kunai, we saw off screen, and getting all of that time burnt off, going to help them in the long term, though it seems like NTNS, they have a plan to react. Getting the kitchen prep wall open and mavericking the main wall itself behind Bakery Bar. Things could change in an instant. We've got a little bit of prone action inside of kitchen cooking, and that might be what's necessary in order to shut down the offensive take. Pickles will continue to wait here prone. AU's scoring 1 to shut down Paka. Hiding in the corner, a smoke gas canister could push him out of position and land Jason a free pick. We'll have to wait, though, 40 seconds. You do hear a smoke canister detonate, though I didn't exactly see where that was. Pickles will shut down AU's. It's a 4-3, and the time not looking so good for Outdone movement.
And both of the big names, Kunai and AU's off the board, makes it look much, much better for Outdone movement, as well as the time becoming their 6th teammate. Really pressuring NTNS. I just don't know if they're going to be able to win. As round 1 in overtime, that's round 13, is going to most likely go to the guys on Outdone movement unless something crazy happens, and it doesn't look like it will. Time running out very quickly. It's now a 2v1 with Evo, but no time to get the plan attempted, and even if he did, that would most likely quickly be countered out. A good round win by Outdone movement as they put themselves into a very good position into match point and overtime.
Great teamwork and coordination in that round. A huge improvement from what we saw last time they defended down there. But that teamwork, the ability to work together and coordinate will be even more valuable now that they switch over to the offense. We see Paka making the last second switch over to the Montaigne. I think that might be a little bit of a bait and switch, and in fact it will. Maybe AUs will react seeing the Montaigne, and it might just work. I think it did. Though, the Echo, still completely valid and a valuable operator nonetheless.
Man, I was kind of hoping we were going to see that crazy round 1 rush into sight near the plan down, but we won't. We see the Monty switched out. It was a bait, so we're calling that safe. Really quite attentive, and you're right, man. AU's onto the Echo is still a very dangerous person to have roaming around. Very scary operator. You got a lot of potential with that man. But if Outdone movement can win here, it'll be game over for map 1. thing is, I did say that they might be at a little bit of an advantage, but that honestly isn't the case with them starting on the defense. It so happened that they won, but both teams went 3-3 on their respective halves. So, I mean, honestly, it was anyone's game, and it still is anyone's game. NTNS have to win 2 in a row. Outdone Movement just need to win 1 more. There is no more rounds after 15, so within 2, we will be done with Cafe, but they're looking to push us to max overtime. NTNS desperately trying to do so. Outdone Movement hoping to end it here in round 14. It's going to be a crazy, crazy thing. It's been a hot minute, Stick, since we've seen these guys on offense. Do you think they have what it takes to shut down NTNS right now?
Well, if you look at the historical perspective, aside from the first round where we saw that crazy play go completely awry, the other 2 times NTNS decided to defend the 3rd floor bar, it was frankly unsuccessful. 2 losses, and to break them down, the last time we saw it, round number 5, and attacking the 3rd floor, it was so fast. One of the fastest, if not maybe the single fastest round in this game. They blitzed onto site, and there was really no stopping them. NTNS now, though, with the smoke, with the echo, and also somewhat involving the Maestro, we might see them look to slow things down to a little bit of a more sluggish pace. 1 minute and 50 seconds, though, and it's hard to say whether or not that's happened just yet. We've got 2 players positioned inside of the cigar lounge. Jason, with the lifeline in hand, looks to open up the bathroom wall and possibly even get an angle onto the Maestro, who's either sitting inside a blue tarp or maybe farther back inside a cocktail. The guns will come alive for Outdone Movement, going for a little bit of a spam shot, though ultimately not garnering any picks just yet in round number 15, or actually we're on 14. 15 will be next. If we go to overtime match point. I hope it's next. To see it go all the way 7-7 would be the ultimate climax here. These Echo drones being able to persist are a little bit of a problem. Kunai scoring a kill, possibly even based off of that intel. Kunai with another one. Kunai with another one. A triple kill. Reloading. Taking down so many members from Outdone Movement. It's a 2-on-4. Paka with 11 kills. Vosi with 16. They'll need to go big. 2 of the strongest fraggers will begin their campaign. Shutting down 1, though Evo charging on in. He's got the pistol in hand. They look to shut down the Maverick, though he is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Kunai with 4 big kills on that round will secure the 7-7 overtime match point. Our final round of Cafe Dostoyevsky is right up next.
Oh yeah, dude, it ends here. There's nothing past round 15. And at this point, a lot of NTNS fans in the chat are going to be happy to see that win. But, I mean, it could go either way. This is going to be insane, man. Kunai says clip it in chat as well. The homie's ready for what happens coming up. You like seeing the players in chat every now and again. But 7-7, this is going to be so intense, so crazy. Back to bar cocktail. Last couple times they went here has not been successful. I mean, you saw it on 11 and 12 when they were trying to shut them down on the original match point before overtime was even a thought. NTNS beat them twice, so they could very well do it again. But so far in overtime, the defensive side has been outstandingly a little bit better. It has looked much better since we've gone to overtime, so this could be Outdone Movement's perfect time to shut these guys down. But NTNS have been so powerful. It has gone back and forth. These teams so well matched up that this is going to be insane. Outdone Movement looking to shut them down, but NTNS looking to do the same. Bar Cocktail will be this final fighting grounds of Cafe, and then we'll move on to Oregon. So honestly, it's going to go one way, but I can't really predict which.
I asked for it in round number 12, and here we see it comes out again. The Castle and the Clash strat making sure that the west side of this map does not progress into the middle, and that control does not get them anywhere. For those of you with a statistician's mind here, we've seen Bar Cocktail in 53% of rounds played so far in this map. And most of them have gone, frankly, pretty even. It doesn't seem like either team has really been super strongly able to close things out. I think the offense do have a slight edge, which is a little unusual, considering it's usually considered the primary site on the mostly defender-sided map. So you would think that means the defense would come out on top more than often, but I think it's really a tale of how strong both Outdone and NTNS are in their offensive strategies. Kunai will open things up, shutting down Pickles. We saw him survive for so long in the first, or rather the only other time we saw this strategy played, but it'll be a reaction from Jason. A quick shot there to shut down Kunai. The trade is not too slow here, but a good one.
Good one indeed. So Castle First Sledge definitely going to go into Outdone Movement's favor, but I mean, you took down Kunai, one of the hot hands that we've seen go off. To have him down early gives a very strong advantage to Outdone Movement. Pickles has been going off recently, but he's not one of the top fraggers. He's doing well, but it's going to come down to IUs and the rest of the gang. And a great shot from TK. Takes down Sixer, freezing, opens up a Devosi, and all of a sudden, 2v4 situation looking good for NTNS. It'll be Jason and Paka last up standing here as things are looking just a little bit grim. Plenty of time for the guys on NTNS to figure this out, and you can just feel everybody getting excited here as boom goes the dynamite. Ayu's onto Paka, leaves Jason alone. It's a 1v4 clutch up for the Doc to win it for his team, and it's just not looking great. Tries to find one in the window, but he won't be able to do so. Now it's getting tense. Plan going down from Evo with 40 seconds left. This puts so much pressure onto Jason, it's going to be almost impossible for him to clutch it up. But if he does, he once again will go down and is one of the very best looking for the kill, but he instead will be shut down. And NTNS win on round 15. What a job from TK. Opened up there right alongside his friends, and we're able to pull this round out in favor of NTNS. That was a well-fought and a great battle till the end, but NTNS win on their opponent's map pick.
It took them all 15 rounds, but like you said, the slithering snakes on NTNS will snatch the map pick away from the side of Outdone Movement. And now we will be heading up next. NTNS get to play their map pick, Oregon, and we'll be ready to see whether or not strategies or gun skill prevail. But seeing that last one, I think NTNS, they're ready to take the win.
Absolutely. We will head to short break, so we'll see you then. Don't go too far, because like Stickle said, Oregon up next on ESA Siege. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESA Siege. It is an honor once again to be back. We have Outdone Movement and NTNS going head-to-head in a very, very intense... That was not a pun, but it's been intense. It's been a great battle between the two. It was NTNS who came out on top for the first map, going 8-7 in what was a incredible show of power and prowess between both of the players. I'm joined with Sticula, and we got Ocho in the sky. Stick, what's going on, man?
Well, we just finished up with, like you mentioned, very intense, super hard-fought map 1. It was Cafe. 8-7 victory for NTNS, stealing Outdone Movement's map pick out from under them, which will put them in a great position heading into Oregon. Their pick now, and they have the high ground, the better position. The Thatcher and the Cali bands coming out will mean getting walls open is going to be a very difficult Maverick-oriented process.
Yeah, you don't really see Kali banned because I feel like Maverick is just a little bit more effective. I mean, she's a great bootleg Thatcher, but I mean, at this level of play, Mira gets banned as well. You got a lot of people who are very capable of Maverick tricking easily, and I would most likely rather see the Maverick ban because it forces them to use Kali's kind of unwieldy weapon in close quarters as well. As, you still have a chance to trick with the bandit. With Maverick, it's very hard to trick a wall that is, just kind of opening up. So it'll be interesting to see there. Caliban, not something we see often, but we'll see it here tonight. And it could potentially throw a little bit of a wrench if somebody was planning on using the Kali.
Yeah, Cali and Maverick are two kind of operators that fight the same beast. Though you mentioned Cali with the sniper rifle can be difficult to use in close quarters. I really like to see Cali play come out, though, because it forces you to really bring up the best in individual skill. Cali doesn't see really a lot of play in the casual scene, and that's for a good reason. She's so hard to practice with, and hitting those, it's almost like if you're playing like a Call of Duty headshots only lobby, but you don't have an automatic weapon, you've got a bolt action. You need to hit that one single shot to take down the opposition, which can be difficult for some, impossible for others in some situations, and so we really see the best and the brightest come out on Cali. Though with her band, like you mentioned, the Maverick comes into the foray as kind of the pacemaker. If you've got a good Maverick player, things can be done
10 seconds
with
remaining.
usual effect. Though, if you have a bad Maverick player or no Maverick player, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. We will be heading, though, firstly to Kitchen and Dining, a bomb site often favored by the European scene. So seeing it come out here from Outdone Movement, a little bit unusual, though I'm excited to see what strategies we've got prepared.
Well, absolutely. Usually you will see dorms or even as the primary site. And like you said, meeting room is most seen here in the NA region as tertiary, but seeing dining is always a little bit of fun. Seeing kitchen dining, already a little bit of engagement. Shots will fire back, but Sixer already down to Kunai. Kunai opening up for the first frag. Looking real good as the teams continue to push in. It's a 5v4 in favor of NTNS, and they're already right up close to site. This is going to be a tough fight to come back from if you keep losing people like this. But right now, you got a chance to get some refrags. Vosti does just that. Takes down TK. Down goes your Maverick, your only form of potential anti-breach denial. And now you're left with a 3v4 because Vosti was taken out as well.
One thing to note here, especially, you talked about the Maverick going down. There is a way to get the wall open. And we'll see the Thermite. He immediately capitalizes on that opportunity. What you can do is you Thermite the top of the floor here, which in turn will break part of the reinforcement. I didn't see if it was successful. It can be a little difficult, and maybe they don't exactly know how to do it. It looks like the Thermite will reposition. It opens a part of it, but the wall will be sought. They use a second one, which will work in the process. Kunai, though, he's on a triple kill. The Ash player will simply hold the angle and wait to get those kills. Pickles will take down Freezing, so he does make this look doable. So 2-on-3 AUs with the angle might be able to find a pick onto the Wamai. sitting behind the table. He repositions, though, able to collect a nice little wallbang. Pickles with a nice headshot. Takes down Kunai, and it'll be left up to the Thermite. No pick so far, but he'll have to get 2 in order to win it out. With 50 seconds, an air jab can be heard beeping just through the doorway.
This is going to get intense for NTNS here. And once again, no pun intended, you guys. You like using the word, apparently. You might get through bans, which is always fun. I think he's a great op. Really taking advantage of those flashes. Does find one. Paka down. No, it's just Pickles. We've seen Pickles and Paka do some great things before, but Kryptonite looking to be their Kryptonite. Shut him down. As some various death blows happen, but it'll be a headshot from Kryptonite. What a shot with the 5.56 to take down the last remaining defender in NTNS. Win a very well-earned round 1 as we start off on Oregon. NTNS already looking pretty dang good.
The 5.56 is not really the gun you want in the clutch, but you put it in the hands of Kryptonite, and wow, he makes things work, taking down both the Wamai and the Jaeger. A great job to close out round 1, and that'll be a nice little clip for him to put up on Twitter. But we're moving forward now, I think, to meet it. Both of the kitchen bomb sites being played first and now second in Oregon is a little bit unusual, but it seems like NTNS on their map pick, they're prepared for whatever happens and really whatever the case may be, though they did see a little bit of a struggle with a couple of early picks going the way of Outdone movement. Overall, they finished things up, clean it out. We've got one round in the books here for them, and we'll be looking to the second one to see how things change. I think NTNS need to change up their offensive plan a little bit, because last time didn't seem to go their way so much, though. Kryptonite, he just completely turned things around for them.
Yeah, but you can't really just put all your hope on Kryptonite being able to clutch up a 1v2 every time. I mean, very doable, but you don't want to put him in that situation. You'd rather be able to overhandedly really beat these guys out. For the first time, Stick, I'm noticing birds fly through the camera. I don't know, I've never noticed that before, but some lovely wildlife coming out in this Oregon farm, we'll call it. Let's see how this goes now, as a little bit of tower control, something you don't often see, but we're seeing the tower control right here, and I'm interested. Yeah, looks like Wamai might be sticking up here. A lot of teams do enjoy going for the push-up, but we'll see if NTNS is one of those teams to take tower control before moving in. It could be completely wasted utility and wasted time, but we'll see. Not looking like a massive push towards tower as of yet. They're going more for the main house, and well, it looks like they might just be stuck up there with nothing to do.
Yeah, we do see kind of a little bit of a difference. Sometimes teams, they like to take the control upstairs, especially if you're trying to get the attic wall open with a plan to maybe come down the stairs and put pressure through rear stage. A little bit of a waste, though, like you said. I guess Outdone movement, they do have the opportunity once it's clear that they're not trying to push up that way to rotate that utility down, though. If they get caught in between, they're going to go down with a lot of that set up in their pockets, and if Outdone movement have that happen, NTNS, they could very well just capitalize quickly.
Oh, absolutely, man. You don't want to see that happen for OM's sake, but it's a big possibility, man. Just circumventing and not going to that tower is really going to put these guys in a rotation position. Luckily, they do have a pretty easy site, or I guess rotation, as we'll put it, back to site. Not too far to try to get back home. So, right now, 5v5 still with about half the round wasted away. Smoke gonna come out, putting a lot of damage on Ayus. He'll escape with about 50 HP, pocket down to 50. Now down low. He's taken down with a headshot from Ayus. The man doesn't miss those. And now NTNS once again in the lead, as we'll see the smoke down immediately. And not immediately, about a minute and 45 seconds in. But a good opening pick is that. Another shot comes out. That'll be a good one. A nice refrag from Vosi to take down TK, as no more Maverick means a little less hard breaching. You still do have the Kryptonite, and we've been seeing before how there are multiple ways to opening up walls. It's very intriguing and innovative. These teams can do. So I'm excited to see these final minutes go by, as it's going to be a 4v4. NTNS looking for a second round win.
The prospects on that bandit swing seem low, but he's able to get the kill no matter the risk. Rotating down, it's a free one for him. We hit the 30-second mark, and it seems like all of the presence from the attacking side is focused on dining. So I imagine that's where the execute will be taking place. We see, Matches is holding this angle here. The Thermite Kryptonite getting ready as well, and with one exothermic charge remaining, he'll get the wall open. AUs finds one, Jason with two, Pickles with one as well. Things just completely changed direction. Kryptonite, he's been in the clutch before, but with 3 defenders left, they don't give him a single one-on-one gunfight and take the round in style. Outdone Movement, they respond to that last round loss with one of their own.
That was huge, man. Tying it up is real nice, and we'll head into round 3. Let's see where they go now, because I'm interested. Are they just going to keep going? They are. Sticking with the... Okay, no. They're going to go to laundry. I was really surprised when I saw that at first. I mean, they just want to keep it on that first floor, but basement sites do seem to be a little bit stronger oftentimes, and this is definitely the same case for laundry supply. However, it can go very, very poorly if you don't bring the correct setup. The smoke's going to be great. The Kaid as well to hatch or take down some of those pesky hatches. Umai, as always, going to be just so great in wasting utility. Doc, a solid pick, sometimes not seen, but we've seen him a lot this series. He's a very popular pick with these two teams. And at this point, I mean, do I even have to mention the Jaeger coming up from Vosi? You see him every round, I swear, but he's here as well. Lot of potential to waste utility coming out with him and Umai. And the nice smoke is someone you want to make sure is alive at the end of the round.
So, going down to the basement, I think one important factor to talk about, this site has, I don't think, any vertical play really aside from hatches, which contributes a lot. Buck and Sledge, 2 huge operators from the offensive side. Just got it mixed up there, but their presence on this site relatively low, and the effect that they can have is minimal. Getting those hatches open, which are almost always reinforced, has more to do with Maverick, Hibana, and Thermite. Maybe even Ace as he comes in next season. So I guess that's really one part that makes this site so good. Another problem is you can't get vertical control from below. No sub-basement to be found on this map.
Imagine a map with 2 basements. That would be insane. Just, I don't know. Something about that just seems funny to me, even though it's not that funny. Just a sub-basement is an interesting idea here. Kunai coming in. Kryptonite already firing a couple bullets. I use as well. Going to open up a little bit. And you hear those air jabs being placed around in various positions, making sure runouts and flanks and everything will be very difficult. You do see someone holding that a little shield out there in blue. That's going to be very nice to waste a bit of time, but I mean, could be pushed heavily here. It's like gonna have to use some of those lifelines, but only has 1 explosive left, and it will be countered, I believe. Not gonna take that down, and that's a really good start.
Certainly will be. Removing a lot of that utility to just reinforce the wall and give it up has to be something I give props here to Outdone Movement, and they really outdid the attacking team in what I will say is a pun, counter to what you might think, but we will move forward here. Outdone Movement have done a great job to waste time and waste the setup from the offense. It doesn't seem like AUs really knows what he wants to do. Now he rotates. Getting back on the drone, and I'm not sure where he was going, but we'll see Kunai droning himself down the staircase. He's got AUs as well on the drone intel. Freezing, taking control of Pillar. He's got a couple of defenders to contest with, notably Vosi playing the shield in the hallway. Jason will shut down Kunai. The G8 does him no good in that gunfight.
No good indeed. Bye-bye Kunai. It's a big name off the board. I using Kunai with the 2 top fraggers for the team. Just sees the head of, I believe, the Doc, and could have taken it off. We do have our own Freezing holding the angle, but a nice nade takes down Vosi. Bye-bye Jaeger. That's a good nade. We're seeing a lot of great nades come out from this team as an ADS will burn up one of those precious air jabs. And what a knife from Paka. Where was he? Was he just like behind him? A good little trade there. TK and AUs both find Paka and Sixer, and now it's a 2v3. Much closer than what we're traditionally faced with the end of the rounds here, as it's usually just Kryptonite in a 1v2 or 1v3. So little bit of an intrigue as NTNS does have the man count with less than 15 seconds to go. AU's with a beautiful frag, and now just OM is left with Pickles with 10 seconds. Kryptonite looking to go for the plant here. Looks like he will be successful, and it's going to be TK and Kryptonite shutting down Pickles just like that. Little bit of a trade happens, but a refrag from Kryptonite will shut him down, and what a job from the Thermite.
Yeah, Kryptonite has really been a strong player, very consistent throughout this matchup. Being able to close out post plants and win clutches is definitely a good award or a good thing to have as a player. We'll see him continue to succeed. The first half of the first side, I guess you could say, is now over, and we'll be heading to Kids Dorms. Surprising to say in the fourth round of play that this is the first time we see this bomb site.
That's a really, really good thing to say, as it is surprising. You often see this as a either secondary or primary site, and to see it here as the fourth, we saw both of the kitchen defensive sites used up, and immediately they went downstairs, lost in basement, which is a good showing from NTNS. To be able to win on a very, very tough defensive side says a lot about their team. As we head upstairs, this site as well can be very defendable. Once again, not a lot of stuff you can do from the top down, but there's a lot of stuff you can do from the bottom up. We've seen some great C4 kills here, so looking at a couple of these operators, we only see one with C4 from Pickles the Mute. So kind of interesting. They're not going to try to capitalize out on a little bit more, as C4 kills can be incredibly effective, but they're also incredibly hard to time, incredibly inconsistent. When they happen, boy oh boy, do we like to go crazy about them. Let's see, as the only breach denial they're bringing out is the Mute. 5 kills from Pickles, looking pretty good, as Sixer slowing down a fair bit. Jason as well, the 2 top fraggers so far. Emerging on the other side of NTNS, it's been IUs and Kunai Kryptonite, both with 3 kills apiece. Very, very interesting beginning for both teams.
Yeah, things have been kind of shaken up so far. Outdone movement, being able to find a round is definitely good for them. On the defense, Oregon is kind of an uncharted territory, though so far in the T1 scene, it seems like the defense is a little bit leaning towards a favor for them. We've got a roam clear, or what looks to be a roam clear going on. I think AUs is keen to know about this rotate. We'll begin to move down the basement staircase and possibly catch, I believe it's Valkyrie Sixer on the flank. Though maybe he's gone up freezer stairs? Looks like he is. So he will be given an opportunity to sneak away, even though NTNS was covering both angles. They forgot to think about the third.
Oh yeah, always got to remember the third angle, man. That is essential. You do see the alibi with the MX4 Storm, a very fast-firing weapon that can do a whole lot of damage and throw a lot of lead downrange very quickly. I'd like to see that come into play here with about, once again, half the round quickly wasted. Not too much control has been taken from NTNS. We are looking out a very sketchy and scary window. Look at that alibi waiting to just fool ya. And somebody might be close, but Kunai right now just holding a rather fruitless angle until a little bit longer. You see that silhouette just to the right. Minute and 15 seconds to go. The drones will come out looking for extra information. Valkyrie will be spotted out, knows the location, and the man is going for it. Kunai very aggressive, and Jason actually finds IUs. Good refrag from Kunai, takes down Sixers. That'll be the good refrag onto that Valkyrie, and now with less than a minute to go, things looking quite even at this point. AU's maybe a bit of a loss there for Sixer, who's been performing quite poorly so far.
You talked about how powerful that MX4 is on Alibi. Jason proves it, though. He almost goes down. Running across the hallway through the rotate and what used to be generator. Pickles will find Freezing, scoring a kill with the shotgun. Kryptonite finding one as well. A very consistent performance from him. The IQ tries to jump in through the window there, though Kunai will go down at the hands of Pickles. Waiting will be the name of the game here, though TK might look to speed things up. He's on the rappel. He comes on in, but he's got 2 players to contest with. He takes down the first. Might be able to get the second. He spots the barrel of the gun. It's a close contested gunfight, though the smoke comes out on top. Kryptonite will haul into the kid's bedroom, though Paka is ready and waiting. It will get 2 picks there. Good couple of kills to end us in this round. Dorms goes to the defense. Outdone movement with 2 rounds.
Yeah, so far it's been back and forth. You've seen NTNS win around, Outdone movement, NTNS win around, and now back downstairs to meeting. They're going to try it again. They were successful here, so they're looking to break that and try to push us into a nice scoreline for them. At this point, they are being threatened out of the 4-2 typical defensive half, and they're really going to have to fight hard to make sure that does happen. Hack onto the pulse. And Pocket with some great plays last round. You have to give it to him. I mean, Maverick almost clutched it up. TK came in, got one, turned around, tried to find the shotgun user and was able to do so, very close to doing so. And then Pocket ended up winning it out as well. So big plays coming out from Pocket, and you can definitely see him doing a lot of work for his team. Pickles, Jason Pocket, all with 6 and 5 kills. So these guys have been pulling out in the kill zone. They've got 18 to their name, while on the other side we see 12, 15 to the guys on NTNS. So kill differential doesn't mean all too much, but it does lean in the favor of Outdone movement at this time. They've been able to get more frags on the board, but interestingly enough, same amount of rounds have gone to each team. So you can see NTNS still definitely in this, and they're looking to keep pace, win this round out. We'll see if that's going to happen. Last time we were here, back on round number 2, we saw Kryptonite left in a 1v3 that instantly ended in his demise. So I'm excited and intrigued as to what's going to happen this round.
It seemed like their problems in that last round really originated in how long they spent getting set up. They tried to force through dining into kitchen with maybe, 30 or 20 seconds left, and ultimately the guns on the side of Outdone movement, they were just ready. They held angles, they won their ones, and ultimately scored enough hits to shut them down. They did see, like you mentioned, Kryptonite. Made a good attempt at a clutch, though. He had so many players to contest with. The odds, they were stacked against him. In this round, things might look a little bit faster. We've got Kunai repelled in. AUs to find a pick to open things up. That's the momentum booster they need in order to start winning rounds and build a lead.
Yeah, that's a really good pick to get off the board as well. Legion is an operator who gets stronger as time progresses, so to take him out immediately gives an edge to NTNS. Kunai with the G8 looking great, but a C4 from below takes down IUs. He'll still be down but now, potentially able to be revived. Looks like he'll withstand instead. Gonna pick himself up at 4 HP. Interesting choice. I mean, maybe the actual revive was unfeasible, but 4 HP is not a lot. And a nice C4 from Pocket takes down Kryptonite. These C4s are coming out to play, and definitely very effective. Both of them off the board now. That Sixer who used his, the TCSG, can be a very effective weapon, and now it's a 4v4 with AUs and very minimal HP. Everyone on Outdone movement looking very, very healthy. About a minute to go, Stick, and things are going to start getting just a little bit crazy as the Remember Us sign is written on that table. I wonder what we're remembering from them. I wish we had more backstory. Maybe I just don't know the backstory to Oregon, but one day I'll find out. But right now, 50 seconds remain in this intense matchup.
Well, to my knowledge, the background of this map talks about a siege, and that's exactly what we're about to see. 40 seconds. As you hear the Maverick, he begins to open up the wall. The process in order to gain entry onto the site is one that needs to be successful if NTNS look to win the round. AU could be coming in on a flank, though, which could be crucial if he's able to shut down anybody, though he himself will be the player who goes down. Vosi on the Jaeger will collect his 3rd kill. He evens things out here. Not his most on-fire game, though we're barely getting our way into round 5. Again, it's a very late execute, and it doesn't look good for the offense. They've got the Cade sneaking his way through, freezing, able to find one, though TK himself goes down. The defused player, and things don't look good. Jason collects one, back out with another, an Outdone movement. They take round number 5.
Very good job from them, as we're looking pretty good. Outdone movement here, although we will be switching shortly to the opposite side. NTNS still with a chance to make it a 3-3. Let's see if that will be the case. as we will head back downstairs to laundry. Last time this was NTNS's good site. They were able to win it out. So I'm excited to see if they can do that again. They're bringing out a very solid squad, and so far it's been back and forth very evenly, but we just saw Outdone Movement win 2 rounds in a row, and that could spell potential disaster if NTNS is unable to answer back here.
Things just continue to build and build. We've
Attackers
seen
need to locate
incredibly
and defuse
close
bombs.
action throughout this map, but it seems like the players who maybe suffered a little bit previously have started to pick things up, and some of the strong fraggers on the side of Outdone Movement, like Sixer and Bosi, have had others step up in their place. The defense can be a little bit of a tricky game to play, especially here on Oregon. NTNS on their map pick, trailing by 1 round. I wonder what that's going to mean. Maybe they've got something prepared for the defense and their attack just not so strong. Maybe Outdone Movement, they've got a little bit of VOD review done on this map, and they kind of know what NTNS like to do. Everything we've got kind of just on inference so far. Last time we saw this bomb site, I believe it was Pickles playing the Wamai inside a blue bunker. He wasted a ton of utility and so much time. We'll be looking to him to see if he can repeat that same success as we push forward through the action phase of round number 6.
Round number 6 is big, man. This is a great time for NTNS to be able to even think. I mean, this could potentially be another overtime map if we see a 3-3 here and a 3-3 there. Well, by golly, that's 2 maps with both halves 3-3s. These teams are definitely very well matched up, and I do believe it's going to come down to an absolute epic ending. We'll see if that'll be true, though, as we're trying to burn out some of these ADSs and Wamai, pesky Wamais, trying to break down that shield. But once again, all he's going to do is retreat away at the end of the day, so... I mean, it's a lot of utility wasted, and for what? I just don't know. Finally, shield goes down, and he will be able to back up and get that reinforced. It's a really cool strategy that I enjoy seeing, and now they will be take control of that blue, trying to find him before he gets reinforcement, but it'll be too quick. And now the Maverick goes to work.
It's odd to see that shield was detonated. The ADS over on Blue Stack was still up. It was red and beeping, so that's kind of strange. I guess it's maybe something to do with the angle that he hit it at, but nonetheless, Pickles will escape with his life, taking a little tiny bit of damage. They attempt to smoke trick the thermite off the wall, though it's a little bit too slow. Oh my word, he peeks out on the angle and takes down Kryptonite. So much for consistency. He'll go down in this round without finding a single pick. A gas canister is tossed out onto the diffuser. Wow. The Ash, though, she peeks in. An aggressive play is rewarded. Kaka, he goes down, and maybe Thermite's death was not all for loss.
That was a really nice swing out, but a good refrag indeed comes out as Kunai takes down Paka on a bit of a tear, going 8 kills right now. Highest in the lobby, and that's saying something. The man's doing great. Chasing with the frag on Kunai, down goes the Ash, and just 4v3 situation that can be oh so tough to win for the attacking team. The defense is holding one more angle to push, and that is not a good situation. You're gonna have to win a couple of gunfights just to even it out, and beautiful job there from Sixer, taking down Ayuz, the first frag of the night, or first frag of the map rather, for Sixer. A good job there, but he's gonna be immediately by the Nomad. That's Sixer dead from freezing. 3v2 situation with just 15 left. TK and Freezing are gonna have to make a big move here. That looks to go down. What a shot there, as the beautiful play from Vosti takes down TK, and Jason shuts down Freezing for the win. OM go 4-2 after 3 rounds in a row, go their way.
What a great job from Outdone Movement, ending the half with a 2-round lead, and ultimately a lot of success for them. We saw, even in the first round, it looked like they were almost in a situation to win. So, I mean, strange that all of these rounds are going so much in their favor, and NTNS is having to claw and fight so closely to take any of them. We will be switching sides, though you mentioned the first half is over, and now it will be NTNS with the decision to defend. They're going to be heading down to the basement for their first site. Interesting to see that change compared to the little bit more unusual site rotation we saw from Outdone Movement, choosing to play dining and meeting so frequently over what is more considered the primary and secondary bomb sites,
Attackers
a
need to
basement
locate and
and
defuse as many
dorms.
bombs as they can.
You're absolutely correct here. So kind of more of that expected play from NTNS. Maybe that's what Outdone Movement were looking to avoid, was being predictable. So they decided to go for both the kitchen sites right off the bat. 1-1, lost one. So, you take some, lose some. But at this point, NTNS need a lot of work in order to win in regulation. If we don't want to see a map 3, Outdone Movement needs to lose here. And that's going to take NTNS at least taking us to a potential overtime, or winning 5-1 and just going through regulation. Outdone Movement, on the other hand, just need to win 3 in a row, or just 3 not in a row, just 3 before the regulation ends to take us to that win, while NTNS have to win 4 just to secure overtime. A lot of crazy things could happen here, but NTNS definitely on a little bit of a back seat. That said, Oregon has traditionally been a defender-sided map. And maybe that's why Outdone Movement were able to pull ahead to that 4-2 rather than seeing another 3-3 split like we saw in Cafe.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
I wonder if them going down 2-4 has something to do with seeing the Cali band come out. Maybe being forced to play the Maverick is something they weren't expecting, and they were kind of banking their odds on being able to play the hard-breaching game a little bit more. We'll see the projectile game begin, all of the flashbangs sailing in, as well as some of those concussions from Zofia. A gas canister is tossed early, so they're trying to look to stunt the progress of the defense as much as possible. We'll see that rotation game where you head back into the site, put that reinforcement up, and block the possibility of the offense from pushing through. It doesn't exactly have a name yet, that spot. I call it the Goyo Tunnel, because it seems like Goyo has played a lot to try and slow down the attackers. So we'll have to wait and see what everyone else decides to call it. We've got magnets being tossed out here by the Wamai. The setup from the defense has fallen back a little bit more, and a focus on Pillar and E-Box begins to extend.
Extend indeed. Still in that 4v4 situation. Half the round is wasted away as Vosi takes a bit of damage. We do see the breach start to come out, trying to open up that wall, make it soft. Still not soft, though. Trying to get some early peeks on. Nate goes down, trying to push anyone off, but Baka takes a bit of damage from that. Eagles with a frag out of Kunai will shut down the Wamai. That's a great pick to have, but a little late as he's got a lot of his utility already down. Shots coming in and out here as it's Vosi to find a use. 5v3 now as Outdone Movement really look to push us to a map 3 quickly. NTNS have a lot of work to do in order to catch up to this train that is leaving the station, but freezing drops too. Not before Kryptonite does get the refrag on Pickles. Sixer with a nice knife, and 4v2 situation isn't looking exactly great, but a nice little C4 does look pretty dang good. Still, the Monty at full HP, he's looking very, very scary. You do have Kryptonite with one more C4. And that could be what wins us this round for NTNS. We'll have to see if it does become the case. As we see the swing out, man's being bullied into a corner, trying to figure out where that pesky Maverick's going. He will find it. TK takes down Baka, but he'll be down now. Finished off by the Monty, and now in a 2v1. Kryptonite has so much work to do. He'll be pre-fired from an angle, and Vosi shuts down Kryptonite, and we'll see Outdone Movement with a 4th round in a row won as they start off on the attack.
You know, as soon as I say this, I know Ocho is going to be cursing me in the casting call, but it looks like we will be heading to a 3rd map, a 5-2 lead so far. An Outdone Movement, notably losing the last one, could look to move forward and head to Clubhouse.
Yeah, it's not a good start, man, and the Blackbeard being brought out by his Sixer, is kind of interesting. I'm seeing if that's going to be 6 picked away. It looks like it will to the Monty. Shield up for shield up, basically, as the absolute debuff that poor Blackbeard gets when putting on his face shields are ridiculous, man. Those rifle-mounted shields really do slow you down, so might as well bring out the Monty, and we'll see the Monty again as we head up to dorms. We'll see if this outcome is going to be any different, but Outdone Movement looking so powerful. Both of these teams are looking really good on each other's map pick, and I think that shows some good flexibility from both teams. They're able to play on a lot of different maps. You don't have just one set map that you're great at, but you're very flexible. However, Outdone Movement, like said, could easily take us to the third map of Clubhouse, just 2 rounds away from doing it unless NTNS really changed something up. Now, they are headed back downstairs to the basement. I think they showed dorms, so I kind of just read down dorms, but we are headed back to laundry indeed.
So last time it seemed like the Monty kind of choked the life out of the defense. What do you think the changes that they need to make in order to take this round and not lose a 6th round
Attackers
in
must
a row?
locate and defuse a bomb.
So one of the great counters to that Monty is our dude right here, Smoke. Also, Legion can be good at slowing him down, but the Smoke needs to make sure he's using his canisters effectively and not just using them to try to slow these guys down. You want to have them for impacts, and slowing them down might be good for a couple of seconds, but at the end of the day, that's potential damage that you're taking off the board. It just slow the attack and the push down by, what, 10 seconds or so. So I want to see a little bit more effective use of the Smoke. That great counter to the Monty needs to be used correctly, and honestly, I mean, they just need to be able to deal with him. 2C4 is back on the board, and I don't know. Monty is a tough beast to take down if you don't deal with him early. If you allow a Monty to roam around while you have the man advantage, that's fine. But if you don't have the man advantage and a Monty as well as his teammates coming at you, that's going to be tough to win every time.
Time to ring some ESA.
Can we go to this player on the punch holes? Because I feel like they're either about to get fragged or find themselves a kill. It might be Kryptonite? I don't know. Sitting down there, we saw the Monty couldn't exactly find it out, but you can see his outline through the wall. Freezing takes a lot of damage, so he might have actually been figured out. We see a good split push coming out, though. There's somebody on the flank. I don't know if you can see them. I think inside of meeting hallway. A drone might give them that intel, and Paka, he will capitalize on it. Shutting down AUs. The Jaeger will go down early here, and things aren't looking too good. The Smoke waiting in the hallway, I believe, and we've got somebody else playing close on the bomb chassis. They're going to be forced to rotate, possibly into the waiting arms of Paka. 2 of those ex-Kairos pellets will be shot off the wall. No TK able to get one. He's got that TCSD 12 shotgun, and Jason, already on low health, will fall victim. A minute left. We do have a grenade being cooked and tossed deep. No ADS to absorb it, and it will down Freezing. He was already on low health before. Oh no, the Cade! He whips the shots and will go down. This puts the side of Outdone Movement in a significant advantage, though with little time and a player being taken out there by Kryptonite, things might look to change. NTNS are still in the fight, though with the Monty on the board, it's going to be a tough one. A technical 2v3, though, you could almost call it a 2-on-2. Monty going to drop his shield, toss a flashbang on in. The Mute will look to peek and take the engagement. He's able to find one. The Monty will have to force off of the diffuser in order to react. Kunai holding this angle as well, though Sixer will confirm the kill. Oh no! Kunai, he peeks the angle and takes it the wrong way. The defuse will begin once again, and Kryptonite will be the player he forces on in, though. Oh no, the Habana, she wins the gunfight. Outdone Movement, they take 5 in a row here on Oregon and look incredibly strong. The match point is theirs, and Oregon, it could be over before it barely even started.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some crazy matchups before. I think it was and Powerhouse a couple days ago, where we saw 2 first maps of 15 rounds and headed up to our third map. And this kind of feels the same, although I don't think we're going to be going all the way to 15 rounds here. I feel like Outdone Movement have done a lot of work, and they're looking to capitalize and finish it off here. The Monty has been unable to do anything but win, it seems, and NTNS have not been to him. I mean, really, they aren't bringing out any ops who specifically are used to take down Monty's other than the Smoke, and the Smoke has not been all too successful in doing that. This could go really wrong here if they are not careful. NTNS on the absolute precipice of destruction go to dorms looking for a final fight. 4 rounds in a row Stickler is going to take to come back from this, and that is not easy.
Definitely not. An Outdone Movement, you know, losing their map pick and now completely stomping through NTNS on their own map. Odd to see. We will be heading to Clubhouse as the decider for those of you keeping track here. And at this rate, I definitely think we will be headed to map number 3 unless NTNS decide to go completely into beast mode and take these next 4 rounds and give us our second overtime matchup. I feel like just our luck, NTNS, they're going to win every single round to get to overtime match point, and then Outdone Movement, they're just going to close it out just to give it to us, the full 15 rounds. That would put this in the danger zone for one of my longer regular season casts here. We'll see them get ready and set up on Big Tower Rappel.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's pretty, I guess, traditional and expected for a team to go 4-2 on that attacking, or rather on that defending half. So it's not impossible. It's just going to be very hard, as they haven't left themselves much room for mistakes, haven't left themselves any room for mistakes. And at this point, Outdone Movement might just have the momentum they need to shut them down. And I think it would be kind of fun to go all the way to another 15 round map, but I just don't know what's going to happen, man. I just don't know. Some good Maverick tricking here, trying to open up that pesky wall. Making sure no one's looking at you a little bit cross-eyed here. We want to take down the mute jammer, as just have to open up a little bit more and that'll be completed. I've never successfully Maverick tricked. It's very impressive, man. I tried it once and I was like, I'm not making a straight line. They're just a bunch of random circles opening up, and this is horrible. But he will successfully get it done. A good job, as now they have access. But already I used finds 1. Pickles goes down, Caesar with immediate shot onto Kinai. We lose Lumai for a Hibana. Pretty decent trade there.
It seems like the story behind NTNS's struggles is that both of their primary fraggers, Kunai and AUs, are having a little bit of trouble. It's a sight to see Kryptonite, the support player for NTNS, being, the only player going barely positive. NTNS, if they have their fraggers wake up, though one of them, Kunai, going down already in this round will serve to cause a little bit of an issue. Nosy looks prepared to make an aggressive play. Working together with the Montaigne at this doorway. They're going to drone things out. I don't know if that mute was spotted, and if he wasn't, that will be a significant miss dronage and could cost them, in effect, this whole round.
Yeah, I mean, things can go badly very quickly. Pocket with another frag onto Kryptonite, shuts down, like I said, the top fragger. TK goes down, but, gets a frag, but immediately Freezing opens up as well. NTNS looking to make a comeback here, as it's a 2v3 situation. For the first time in a while, they have the hefty amount of damage. Bosi, the last up standing. Yes, 1. Can he get 2 and 3? That's a question we need to have answered, but there's only 10 seconds left, and it's going to be very tough with a smoke and a Jaeger on the board. 2 great operators. Not looking good, as I don't even know if he'll have time to get the plant down.
Operators,
he won't.
Run out of time.
So, wow, NTNS, after struggling for 5 straight rounds, they will finally be able to find one. And I think it was mostly off of the back of a little bit of a fumbled play there from Outdone Movement. They seem to kind of understand what was necessary. They took control of Trophy Connector and tried to go in through Wardrobe, but not getting the master bedroom wall open, I think, was really the nail in the coffin. You cannot allow the defenders to have that really wide crescent of an angle, and somebody being able to persist inside of games is really one of the biggest unknown quantities. I think it had some of the most effect, even with Kryptonite going down. Just being able to stay there for so long really caused a lot of issues. Though ultimately, we will see NTNS find success. We talked about them needing to win 4 rounds in a row to close this out and send us to overtime. But they're able to find 1. So the odds get lower and lower. 3 only, which is still a tall order, though things will move closer and closer.
10 seconds to
closer and closer indeed. NTNS have a lot of work to do, but if they're able to push through, I mean, they could potentially end it here if they just win 3 rounds in a row. Take us to their defensive side of overtime. I mean, it's possible, but it's very, very unlikely. I mean, it's going to be a tough fight, that's for sure, and I'm excited to see if they will be able to pull it out, but this point, OM, Outdone Movement, they've been in match points positions before. In fact, they've been in a match point twice. This is their third time. They've done it once in regulation back in the days of Cafe, once in overtime. And twice they've been able to do anything. Ayus takes down Jason, but Pickles with immediate refrag onto the Jaeger. Big pick, as Ayus is a great guy, but Jason as well, same amount of frags. Pretty even, I would say perhaps the Jaeger. A little bit of a lesser loss, as he already does a lot of his work. As you see the guys now jumping in, ready to push. The Monty has been a staple of this Outdone Movement offense, and it's been very effective so far. I mean, just last round, they were shut down finally, as we'll head in again. This time, it's a big play for NTNS. They need to fight to stay alive, and they can't. We'll be headed to map 3 of Clubhouse very quickly. A lot of pressure on Outdone Movement to perform well, but NTNS feeling perhaps even more pressure to just stay alive at this point.
So it looks like the flank below is shut down by a drone to watch it. I imagine that'll be Jason on that cam. If that doesn't happen and the defense is allowed to rotate up the tower stairs, we could be seeing a couple of issues. Freezing will go down, though not before Kryptonite finds one in Kunai, holding an angle through the hatch to get another. It's a 2v3 with Sixer on quite low health. Pickles with a little bit to say as well. He's sitting just above 50. Sixer will go down, and NTNS with a 3-man-to-1 advantage could find another round and send us to 6-4. Dropping the hatch, Pickles will get cut down through the rotate by TK. What a round, and NTNS, they continue to slog further and further towards an overtime for Oregon.
You know, they're looking a lot better than they did 2 rounds ago, and that's something to say. They are now just 2 rounds away from taking us to overtime. If NTNS come back and win this, that would be such a big sweep for them. But, I mean, being on defense definitely gives them a little bit of an advantage, but here is where they're going to need to make that perfect rotation happen. If they don't, it'll be over. They're headed to Laundry. Now, let me remind you guys, twice they've been to Laundry already, and twice they've fallen victim to overtime. What am I saying? Outdone movements. Very, very great play. The Monty has been such a thorn in their side, and can they deal with them here? They've had 2 rounds of losses.
Defenders,
have they figured out what to do, or will it continue to be a smash by Outdone Movement? I don't know, but this time, NTNS need to figure out something. They don't have any more room to make mistakes, and I mean, to quote my man CDAPS, pressure makes diamonds, and NTNS is under a lot of pressure right now.
Right now, you just asked the question, you know, what does NTNS need to do to change this basement defense in order to win? And I think I've got a little bit of an answer to that. It seemed like in their first defense down here, the hold of Blue Bunker really did nothing. The attack, they just, every round, it seems, they have an answer. They use all that utility to remove it in the player. Actually, I think freezing in 1 round might have been able to swing out. Actually, nope, that was a smoke player. I'm thinking of somebody from Outdone Movement earlier in the match, but blue control seems to matter not so far, especially with the Monty. He simply can push through and really ignore any setup you have, so maybe they need to think about that, though I think Outdone Movement are going outside of the box and attempting once again the freezer main stairs take. We've got multiple players setting up drones. There'll be Jason and Sixer, the Monty, and the Zofia working together to take the west side control and moving through small tower, now into Showers Hall, and potentially getting near the freezer as we see them.
This is going to be another great round to watch. NTNS have looked good, but Outdone Movement have arguably looked better on some of these sides, especially this side of Laundry. They have had a near flawless record so far attacking it. So it's a dangerous play to go back here, but it's a play that they were going to have to make eventually, and this is it. They could have, I potentially see, gone to kitchen dining, but instead they've opted into this. Already Monty and Freezer beginning to make that push. You see hatches break down as, ooh, little bit of an unfortunate happening there is you
Bomb
won't be able to
located
open
by
up
attackers.
a bigger hole. Only 3 of the 6 went down for the ex-Kairos. I believe she has 1 left in the chamber, I suppose. Now the push does begin as well from the laundry area. The stairs go down. Jason, first frag on the TK. Beautiful job as NTNS now off the back foot. Bye-bye to the Kaid. And another frag from double kill from Baka. Finds the head by using Kunai. Both of their, well, previously top fraggers down within a couple of seconds, and now it's a 2v5. Looks like we're headed to Clubhouse at this point, but you never know. I mean, you really don't. But that's the way it looks. Certainly does, as it's an ace clutch for our last man, but he'll be shut down as well. And a good round comes out. A flawless round comes out. Outdone Movement win the day. But do they win the night? We'll figure that out as we head to Clubhouse. What a game, Sticula. That was insane.
Yeah, Outdone Movement were really the dream crushers there. They completely stomped out any hopes for a comeback. They let a couple of rounds slip. Things looked a little bit desperate for the side of NTNS, though ultimately we will see Outdone Movement take NTNS's map pick, 7-4. Things were a little bit closer on our first map. For those of you who need a little bit of a recap, it was 8-7 on Cafe. Notably, it was Outdone Movement's map pick, taken, stolen by NTNS. Though we come on to the next one, Oregon. Looks like Outdone Movement, they seek to repay the favor. Oregon and their Monty pushes seemed ultimately unbeatable. We saw a little bit of a split, like I just said, but they will fix things up and close it out. Our next map, like you just said, will be Clubhouse. We've got a ton of action that will unfold in map number 3. So stick around. Right after the break, we will have a ton of action to show you on Clubhouse. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We will be heading into our next map. We've got Clubhouse up for you as our decider. Rolling back the clock, we saw in map number 1, it took all 15 rounds of regulation, though ultimately NTNS, they were our victors, taking it 8-7. Moving forward, what did we see on Oregon, Slay?
So Oregon was a pretty interesting map. Started off really even back. Outdone movement ran away with it for 5 rounds, taking themselves to a quick match point in their favor. NTNS tried to fight back, but at the end of the day, it was won by Outdone movement 7-4. Real quick, we should mention that the next matchup between Unreal Nightmare and I believe Digital Dynasty has begun. So we'll be giving you updates on that as they progress. And after this map, we'll be heading into them. And I'm excited. I mean, 2 great matchups tonight. Should be pretty fun to watch. That's your first ban. Who saw that coming?
Definitely a pretty expected pick. The Monty, though. You see, Sixer in chat does not seem to appreciate that. A target ban, but a very needed one. NTNS struggled at every turn to shut down Monty, and so to see him go away, not the biggest surprise. We've got our second ban coming up next. Cade will be removed. To see him go out, joining with the Thatcher, pretty expected.
Okay, Mike should be back to normal there. That was a little weird, but the Monty band is definitely a little bit of a no-no for OM. They were absolutely going hard on that. So to see him gone is a nice little break for NTNS. Here we go for the final ban. Who's it going to be? Mira on the wall. You are never played at all. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Did we see Mira ban on both maps? I'm not sure if I have the notes on our second one. I definitely know we did see him go out on, or her rather, out on map number 1. It looks like she did. So you are correct. No Mira whatsoever in all 3 of these maps. A little bit of a shame. I like to see Mira. The way that she affects sight is super versatile, and definitely a good team can make great use of her. Though, with her removed, that won't be anything to worry about, though. Sixer gives them a little bit of a worry himself. He played the Monty a lot when we saw him prior, though now playing Clash as we head to Gym Bedroom. The feasibility of a Clash on Gym is a little bit of a question, though I could definitely see her being a huge operator to play, especially when you factor in both the west side jacuzzi wall and maybe trying to stunt the offense as they come through Cash in the east.
Yeah, I mean, you take down one shield up and Sixer's going to come back with another. That is just the way of him. And honestly, these guys on NTNS have struggled quite a bit with dealing with a Clash in the past, as well as the Monty in the past. It has been something that has really slowed them down time and time before. So, I mean, Clash definitely is a very good choice, I think. But we'll see. Like you said, for this site, will it be as effective as they want it to be? NTNS have proven themselves as great fighters. Outdone movement as well, proven themselves to be phenomenal at what they do. But I mean, someone's going to be walking out of here with a win, and someone's going to be fortunate loss. The big question is who will be on which side. We do see CCTV wall not be reinforced, so it'll be easy entry there, and they'll try to push on through cash room. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll circumvent it all and head solely for the western side of the building.
Definitely a big decision to make in your formulating of a plan. I've seen a little bit more focus. It seems like a lot of teams, as they progress, tend to start favoring an east to west unit or a gym take, though it's really up to each team and how they like to play it. I could definitely see the reasoning behind it. It can be a struggle to get Jacuzzi wall open, just the same as it can to take the main platform wall when you're defending Cash and CCTV. So, attempting this rather than confronting the strategy of the defenders in Gym on its sole strongest point might be what you look for. We've got 3 operators coming on in here through the main wall. Actually, even 4, I think. AU's coming in, and Thermite will begin the process. drone tossed out will cover the swamp flank and make sure that nobody tries to file up the red stairs. We've got a 4-operator stack, like I mentioned. So an east to west take is clearly the plan. The question will be whether or not the Clash is able to push back and stop the offense from really getting things going.
Yeah, it's going to come down to this. We have about a minute to go. No one's fallen on either side, but that's sure to change rather quickly as both teams collide. Pushing into construction here. Big shot. Freezer does go down first to the big 416 gun. That is our dead as well. I use with a nice refrag. I use has been a big name before. And I looking to match that as what a shot, but no, Vosi pulls it out. Amazing job considering that is considerably a weaker weapon. Good grief, the UMP has become much more, I guess, useful it seems. Team's very good at it, taking advantage of it. And now in a 4v3 situation, NTNS have slowed down quite a bit. They still have some great operators left, 3 nades on the table. But will they have the power necessary to shut down a Clash, a Maestro, and a Castle? There was a nice little Bandit too, but he's now passed away with 15 seconds left. It doesn't look very hopeful, but Pickles finds one. The double kill for Pickles as a use will pick up Sixer, but Vosi shuts down TK as there it'll be. Outdone movement win on Jim. Traditionally, Stickula, we see Jim as a tertiary site, but we saw it here as their primary site.
You know, I talked about it way earlier when we were getting started on Cafe, but the same as we see on Villa, where dining has started to come more into the foray from previously being a tertiary site, I think so too has Jim. Jim, especially with a good strategy in play, like we saw from the side of Outdone movement, can be a great one. I was laughing at the fact we saw the Clash and it might have been AUs. I didn't exactly get the name, but they were kind of doing a little ring around the rosy, trying to get behind one another. Ultimately, it seemed like that gunfight didn't really matter. What did was the attempt to push into bathroom, and Pickles doing a good job to shut things down. It was incredibly chaotic throughout the entire building on the top floor, though it seemed like NTNS didn't really get confronted too much taking through the east side. So maybe that plan could have worked better with a little bit of a cleaner execution once you finally reach the objective. We'll be waiting to see, as that bomb site will have a little bit of a cooldown. We'll be seeing the basement, Arsenal, and Church next up in this match.
Next up, indeed. This is a very powerful side as well. Very strong side. And we'll see what kind of roam they're going for. If they're going for a... do see the Vigil come out. No mutant Mozzie, so it doesn't really say that they're having that SSG roam. But we'll see a couple of guys going on a little bit of roam duty, and we'll see if that's going to really work out for them. OM have looked quite good for the last couple of rounds, really putting a lot of pressure on these guys. And if NTNS can't answer back soon, we might see another quick map if they're not careful. Without done movement starting on defense, once again, they do have a little bit of an advantage. The ability to potentially go up 6-0 if they can, and NTNS can have to really fight back to make sure that they have the best scoreline they can possibly get going into their defensive half. That's what I need to see from them. At this point, Outdone movement, I've just been shutting them down at every corner. You see the Legion come out, great operator indeed. He's going to be able to slow them down, and the nice plays from Jason, Volsi, as well as Pickles so far, won them round 1.
You talked about not seeing the mute or the Mozzie as possibly an indicator that this isn't the SSG room. I think the clearest giveaway, however, is the lack of the Castle. We don't see him played too much outside of either the SSG room or Gym Hole. What we see in this round is the Vigil over here near Strip, hiding away and wasting as much attacker time as possible. If he's able to get a pick here on top of how much of the clock he keeps on wasting, could be an issue. But Kunai will solve that problem himself. Hitting the headshot, Kryptonite took quite a bit of damage. I'm not sure if that was something to do with the Nitro Cell, maybe, because his position doesn't really give me that indication he was over there fighting in Strip. I see the Jaeger playing at the bottom of the stairs here. Doesn't take any damage, but it seems like Freezing has taken a lot as well. So From both sides, we'll see a little bit of that HP go away, though obviously Outdone movement losing a whole 100 of it. Jason going down. That will be them on the back end. We'll hear the MPX rattle off as TK is not doing the best, and Thermite is having a little bit of a struggle. He's even going to choose to place down an exothermic. That is a considerable loss of utility there.
Kind of unfortunate, man. Poor guy needs to go on a bit of a diet. He can't fit through the dang hole. So now with just 35 seconds left, you've got 3 guys on NTNS under 50 HP, 1 with 100, but Pickles going down is a nice beginning. Maestro, a very deadly operator. But Kunai shuts down Sixer as well. Kunai in the double kill finished off Pickles. And now it's a 2v5 situation in favor fully of NTNS. Outdone movement. Need to be able to do something crazy here. Vosi and Paka are gonna have to pick quite a few kills, but the plant has not yet gone down. It will be going down though, as Kryptonite flex away at that lovely little laptop. There it goes. And Ayuz finds another under Vosi. Now it's all upon Paka in a ace clutch situation with 40 seconds. Doesn't seem very feasible, but it'll start off with a nice kill in the P9. He's gonna move. MPX not the best weapon, but it is a weapon indeed. But NTNS shot him down. The M4 from above will make sure that Paka will kill no more.
Yeah, it seemed like his team, they didn't really set him up in a strong position to win there, and with that round wasting away, we'll see things get tied up. The defense, starting out strong on Jim, now seem to struggle a little bit. Holding the basement, not really their best foray, and we will be going now to CCTV and Cash. A good decision, Cash and CCTV, obviously one of the primary, strongest bomb sites. Seeing them struggle downstairs is a little bit of a negative indicator, though I'm sure Outdone movement with their strong offensive strategies will have something for us later in the half, rather later in the game as a whole. The second half will be up, though we'll still be focused on the first one. Here we've got 4 rounds remaining. Number 3 is up next.
Bombs from being defused by attackers.
Ooh, back upstairs. This time they'll take CC Cash Room, another great site to begin on, but they'll be using it as their tertiary site. They lost downstairs, so kind of interesting. Once again, we're starting off back and forth motion between the two teams. NTNS looking potentially run ahead here, but traditionally this has been a pretty good site for defenders, but untraditionally, and in recent news, it's become much easier to attack as teams have figured out a lot of great strategies to take the bandit off the wall. You can see a Capitao sometimes come out. You'll often see the Zofia come from below. No Zofia, though, indicates that we might see maybe the Ash come out, but we do have the Maverick, so Maverick is most likely going to be able to open that up just fine. Interestingly enough, we see all 3 hard breachers come out that are in play right now. Ace will eventually be available, but for now it's just the 3 of Thermite, Maverick, and our lovely Whammon Ibana ready to go. It's going to be interesting to see, do they bring the right setup for this site, or will Outdone movement once again claim victory here on the second floor? Big questions to be answered in TK. So far starting off a little bit slow. Kryptonite has switched over onto the Hibana, playing that instead of the role that we saw him last time on. That was the Thermite himself, and now the Maverick trick does begin from freezing, looking to open things up. Kunai with 3 kills, Ayuz with 4, looking like they're back to their normal selves of absolutely fragging out with great velocity and power.
Freezing attempts to rappel upside down and open up a part of the wall to give his teammate an angle, but in the process, he neither gets no part of the bottom wall open, and he takes a ton of damage. Look at that. He's not even at 25, sitting far below what you would consider optimal, and it is going to be a struggle for him, especially facing off with the Legion. TK will trade it back, though, and get a little bit of revenge for his teammate. Pickles is off the board, and looks like Freezing will continue the process of opening up the main wall. Thermite, meanwhile, will now rotate. Still got 3 flashbangs in the pocket. A good bank of utility, and it's definitely going to help him out. We also see the laser sight, which is a difference from the norm, but I give him style points. Kunai will begin opening up the garage door and working together with Freezing. However, low health he is on. the pressure will be mounted onto, I believe it is the Wamai Sixer. We don't have clear intel on that, but an engagement will come soon. It's actually the Doc, though, freezing. He's on such low health. A single bullet will send him down, and Kunai could look to make an aggressive play.
He could indeed gonna get a little bit of a lesion mine, but freezing back up, and I think he might be at a little bit better HP than he was previously, or very close to. Kunai does go down for the Doc. A great shot will now finish off. No, he won't. He is going to be able to stim himself up, but good grief, what a shot to potentially save the teammate. However, that'll be punished as well as Jason finds a use. It's now a 4-4 with Kunai on the floor, basically dead. We'll see if they can save that. Kunai watching and waiting. Freezing with a good frag on it. Jason does take the man down, and now it is getting intense. It's a basic 3v3. Kunai will be able to be picked up soon, I believe, but until then, with just seconds left, it's looking like Outdone moving might have this, but 6 with frag on a TK. Freezing with a refrag, but there it is. OM defend the bombs. Nobody's going to be getting a plant down, and that means the round goes to Outdone Movement for, once again, a little bit of an opening pattern of this back and forth gameplay.
So I've got a little bit of an intel here. Outdone Movement, I believe they're going to be heading to bar stock in one of our next 3 rounds. I talked to them prior to the match, and they told me that if we see Clubhouse come out as one of the maps, that they are going to play that side. Though so far, we won't see it. We're 4 rounds in, so that leaves a little bit of a possibility. So far, having mixed success. That last round was it was an absolute banger. It was so hard to follow the action. I was at least trying to figure out where the diffuser was, because that's really the linchpin. We see the 6-pick Legion over to the Legion. He will stay put there, heading to the basement. As a reminder, last time we saw this site, it was unsuccessful. So to see it repeated is, I said this a lot, questionable. But we'll have to wait and see and give Outdone Movement another opportunity to prove themselves.
And they definitely can. Once again, a very powerful site. Does happen to be Church Arsenal, but like you said before, they were unable to pull it out. So going to be real interesting here. They're giving a chance to NTNS to pull it back to a 2-2, while at the same time giving themselves an opportunity to pull away a little bit, make it a 3-1, and NTNS really would not like to see that. This is going to be big. Outdone Movement fans in chat will be hoping, begging that they're able to do it out, but we'll see. Once again, the Legion can definitely slow down the push. The Vigil, a very good roamer. As well as the Jaeger. He's seeing so much by a recent nerf to his speed, but I mean, he got an extra armor, so is it really that big of a nerf? Some would argue that it is not, and I would agree with everybody, because I don't like conflict. But let's see how round 4 goes. This is another big round for NTNS and Outdone Movement, as it's either going to tie us up or take the lead to a 2-point for Outdone Movement.
AUs will be first in the fight. Sneaking in through Strip, he might look to contest with the Vigil and could, in fact, catch him off guard if the sound cue's not present. We could see him come out on top. He'll hit the headshot. What a nasty hit. And again, we'll see the roamer inside Strip go down without much of a fight. We saw last round, after that happened, NTNS just went on to completely stomp their way through, though this Jaeger player being aggressive. Oh, what a shot there. How does he win that? Vosi will trade things back, avenging his teammate. We could be heading to a complete different course for the bomb side of Arsenal this time.
It is looking a bit different here, and a great pick from the risky play of Vosi. And about half the round remains. So, you know what? A lot of time for the defense to try to stop these guys, but a lot of time for the offense to figure out just what they want to do. And you don't like seeing the offense with a lot of time if you're on defense. You want to make sure you've slowed them down a good amount, but with already your Vigil down and most of the roam game headed back to site at this point, it leaves a lot of map control in the hands of NTNS, and they'll be using that to great effect, as you'll see our lovely little Maverick open up this hatch. NTNS hoping to find some quick picks, but Vosi looking very attentively here. He wants to find someone easy again. That's his big goal. We'll see if this is going to happen. The moto hatch will eventually go down, but with less than a minute to go, the execute needs to be set up quite quickly, and so far, a beautiful nade from freezing. The boy just takes him out. Oh my goodness. That feels good for NTNS, as that is exactly what they needed to have happen. Get the man advantage. C4 goes out. It'll hit onto Kenai. Things are going back and forth. The explosives are playing such a big role. And now with 30 seconds, the attack needs to commence soon. NTNS, what can they do to resolve this? Or will it fall to OM? Question remains, but the time does not. Legion going to be able to take a little more time up, and NTNS onto Pickles. A double kill from Freezing as he'll take down Sixer. Taka back onto Freezing, as now it's going to be a 1v2. Plant does go down from Kryptonite. All up on Puck in a serious, very serious round. NTNS desperately wanting to win this to stay into a nice close round, and they will, in keeping it 2-2.
You know, I bet Vosi really regretted putting 2 of those ADSs on the main stairs when he saw that indicator roll on through the moto door.
I'm sure he did.
So, next up, let's take a look what site we will be going to. Heading down to church again. Outdone Movement, they've tried it twice, had mixed success. The first time we saw things were in a 1v5 clutch. The player, I believe it was Pickles in that one, had no help, and he ultimately only found a single kill. Rolling it back to that just prior round, we saw it was a little bit closer, I will contest. They made a good attempt, though ultimately the control of Dirt Tunnel and Arsenal through the hatch of Kitchen led to them being able to field a successful plant. Though we will see it happen again. I talked about the big question, whether or not this is the site they need to keep going to. And again, I will ask that question. Why on earth are you continuing to play a site that you can't just seem to win? Outdone Movement on the other side of Gym, Bedroom, and CCTV Cache looked great. They were able to find success. Remind you, Gym is open, not only just bar stock. So why do you continue to play a site that you just don't seem to be able to win on?
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know.
5
but,
seconds
I
left
mean,
before
they're
insertion.
going to keep going, and they seem rather confident in their abilities. Perhaps they are misplaced, but they do feel like they can win it out. NTNS, however, has proven otherwise time and time before, and okay, looks like they will be able to reinforce the hatch. Could have been a little bit sketchy there. And here we go for round 5, NTNS. First time of map 3. Outdone Movement. Just doing the same thing, butting their heads into the wall time and time again, hoping something will work. But at this point, I don't feel very confident that it will. NTNS have overwhelmingly won in the past couple of times we've been here. And I'm sure they're ready to do so again. I mean, have they changed really anything? It doesn't seem like their lineup is changing all too much. They are bringing out a couple different operators. But, I mean, they got to do something significant to win against NTNS here.
You know, I think they have made one, at least semi-significant change, and that's the fact that they aren't playing the Vigil inside of Strip. We saw both times that he played inside of that position. He was the initial domino to fall. He was taken out and really without much of a struggle. So maybe having your full 5 men alive on site is a decision that will be able to secure them a victory here. We'll have to wait and see. So far, it seems like the breaching process through the floor has begun. The Maverick, Freezing as well, will get his job in progress to open up the moto hatch and allow a sightline. Sixer will start us off here, taking down Kunai. So the opening pick finally going for the side of Outdone Movement in their attempt to play the bottom floor side.
Could be game-changing here, and Freezing going down to just about 2 HP could be game-changing as well.
Attackers have recovered
Outdone Movement, we've seen back and forth, and they're looking to keep it back and forth. Nate Cook not going to really find anybody, though, as everyone on Outdone Movement still full HP. So, Freezing, very low HP. Kanai just straight up dead. Right now, the top fragger has been IU's alongside Freezing with 5 and 4 kills respectively. Another nade will be cooked. Thrown out, but will it get a trade there? Looks like it will indeed. Jason finds Freezing, but Freezing's nade, cooked to perfection, does in fact find Jason. Another nade goes out. Not going to be finding anybody, and now 4v3. NTNS looking like they might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, that frag grenade was medium rare, but the pick that it will get will earn them a great advantage. I think even though it was traded out, them still being in the lead of the man count will be a good thing to have, especially as we hit the 20-second mark with no real opportunity to push. Oh, he gets the smoke grenade and he charges on in. What a shot. AU's look to make this winnable, though the Maestro will find one. He goes down. AU's pressing the gun to his back will secure a double kill. Kryptonite begins the plant process and leaves Sixer to win a clutch. Last time we saw a 1-on-2 for this bomb site. The defense with the plant down was unsuccessful. We'll have to see as we repeat history. 35 seconds, and things are tense. The angle is being held, though unfortunately, Kryptonite, he falls off.
This looks so unwinnable for NTNS here, but the great play from our main man right there, TK, pushing in through the pain. Might have been able to win it, and right there, it's Kryptonite to finish things off. A beautiful job. As some of the best plays we've seen, man. Being able to shoot down that pesky smoke grenade, then push in and kill the smoke. Change the course of that round. Outdone movement, keep it nice and even. Going to 3 now, as it has just been back and forth time and time again. They look to go back to CC, a site that they've previously won.
You know, I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see Bar Stock. I guess that's just Outdone movement making the decision to play the bomb site that they feel comfortable on. But the decision to play the basement 3 times, I have to ridicule that. I mean, I guess playing it the second time was maybe the right decision to make. You know, try to reattempt it. You didn't think you really made the right choice in the first round, something that didn't work out too well, but choosing to play 3 times, and ultimately it's just unsuccessful round after round. Even when Outdone movement are able to win the opening duel, they were able to build the man advantage. Somehow, some way, NTNS, they find a crack and they sneak on through to win the round.
They really did, man. Absolutely insane job from NTNS. At this point, Outdone movement looking a little bit tough here, guys. What are you going to do now? I mean, you've confirmed at least a 3-3, and on your defensive half, that is not what you want to see, not what you want to hear.
Attackers are moving out to locate
You're going
a
to
bomb
CCTV. You've won it before, but I mean, at this point, threatening to 4-2 you on your own defensive half. This is not good.
Attackers recover the
NTNS
diffuser.
been so strong, but OM can take us to a 3-3 half and try to fight back as we move on to the second half. It's gonna get crazy, and I cannot wait to see how this resolves, but at this point, 3 times in a row just didn't seem to be the correct play. Like you said, Stick, I mean, they could have gone to Bar. They could have done something different, but they just kept going to something that kept biting them in the butt. And, I mean, at the end of the day, you know what the definition of insanity is, and OM looked a little bit insane that time.
One thing to point out here as we head into our final defense for OM's first half is going to be the Clash. Sixer has been a big fan of playing the Clash, and he will return to his favorite operator. Now, though, on CCTV to see a Clash come out is probably the bomb site where I would say Clash is most unplayed. It doesn't seem like she really gets too much presence, and aside from maybe trying to contest the main wall, little questionable to pick her. I still will hold my words, though, and wait to see what effect she does have. Sixer has not had the best half, you could say that. He's going 2-5. As far as his successes were prior, I mean, this is a little disappointing, but we're not done yet. Only 5 rounds in, Kryptonite will start us off. In the Clash, she makes her presence known.
Indeed, it's a good pick. Once again, Paka has recently and in the past been a good player, but reaching off the board is something you want to see here. And now, advantage goes to NTNS in the man count. Still that Clash to deal with, and Kanai getting tagged up a little bit, just over 75 HP. Reason taking a bit of damage as well. That pesky Clash could be a problem with less than a minute to go. If Clash can do one thing right, it's waste time, and that's all they have to do at this point. Waste time and try to get some frags here. Jason goes down a little bit low, but it'll be a nade from Ayus to take down the Clash, and just like that, things are looking so good for for these guys over here on NTNS. In fact, I don't know if they could look much better. 5v3 with a little bit of time, but now it's a 2v5. TK takes down Pickles. It's looking like NTNS will secure a big round for them. Bosi down as well. Kryptonite with the plant, and now it's just Jason
Attackers are activating the
taking
bomb
out
diffuser.
Kunai, or at least down but not out. And can he win this fight? I don't know. No, it won't happen. And AU's finished the first half with a flawless round. Securing the 4-2 while attacking is just phenomenal.
You know, you talked about ways that NTNS could look better, and a flawless one is definitely the path to that. Though, we will be heading to a rehost pending an admin call in order to figure out what is going on. I'm not sure whether that's maybe some kind of client bug, a sound issue. Regardless, they will leave, and we will be heading to a short break. Stick with us as we continue the action on Clubhouse.
Hey guys, welcome back to ESA. It's good to be back here as we have returned from our rehost. If you are just joining us or need a little bit of a refresher, it has been Outdone movement against NTNS in a pretty crazy matchup. Right now it's 4-2 in favor of NTNS as we're on our third map. This is crazy. I'm Slayzilla, joined by Sticula with Ocho, broadcasting, observing, and producing. The man's got a very place, so get some love to him in the chat. Sticula, dude, what's going on, man? We're in round 7, second half starting up, and it's been pretty crazy so far.
Definitely has been, and the action looks to begin with even more explosiveness now. As Outdone movement, they begin their offense. A blitz pick is 6 picked over to something different. We'll have to wait and
Please
see
be a blitz. 6
once
picks a
he
blitz.
makes the decision. Oh, over to the IQ. Well, there go your hopes and mine as well. We will not see the blitz come out. I was hoping to see that be the spearhead. However, a decision is made and the operator changed. We will be heading up to CCTV. If I look at my notes, it seems we've seen this bomb site twice already, so this will be our number 3. And it has been a pretty wild ride. You mentioned it being pretty crazy, and that's definitely one way to put it. We ended the half 4-2. NTNS has been putting on quite a show. Outdone movement maybe slowing down a little bit compared to what we saw on Oregon, but I hope things will begin and possibly even head to overtime. 2-4, and we'll be figuring out whether or not Outdone movement, they've got the opportunity and the will to bring it even, or maybe NTNS will give it to us easy and take the win in the next 3 rounds.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. 3 rounds is all that it'll take for NTNS to win it out, and that's kind of crazy, man. It could be over so quickly, and that's got to be a little bit scary for Outdone movement at this point. NTNS have looked powerful for a minute now, and I mean, starting onto their defensive half, if they can successfully defend CCTV, then they just run away. All they have to do is at least get better than a 4-2 half. If NTNS wins 3 and OM wins 3, then it will go to NTNS. If they get a 4-2 split, that's what OM wants to do, and try to match that what they lost to on defense, and we will go to overtime, but that's going to take a lot of work. That's going to take as much work as NTNS put in. But then again, Outdone movement did make a couple of blunders. You know, they went to the same site and lost on it 3 times. That's Church Arsenal. That just was not their play tonight. Should have gone to bar stop, but they didn't, unfortunately. And at this point, they might just pay the cost and pay the price of not playing perhaps the way that they should have.
Got a little bit of a extravagant setup here. One thing I wanted to note, the castle barricade down on the stock door, providing anybody inside a lounge with a little bit of cover. We've also got what seems to be an Evo line below inside of stage. It could look to prevent the offense. Oh, we've got a rush. Sophia's in close, taking a little bit of damage. I think that was from the smoke. Freezing finds one, though. Pickles, he'll refrag. TK with one of his own, though this diffuser just seems to go down. Vosi close on the angle. He's got the R4C and is able to collect another, though it'll be Vosi again on the Zofia. It's a 2-on-1. This round has went very quickly. An Outdone movement. They look to make the rush play to secure the 3-4.
Yeah, so far it looks like they will, and they do indeed. TK is the final op. A good job from Outdone movement to secure round 7 as their own, looking to bring it back. I mean, they're only 1 round away from point, and to win on CCTV, albeit by a little bit of a cheeky rush, I mean, that was pretty dang good. NTNS need to be able to fire back here. They'll head back to CC again, looking to potentially counter their play, but I doubt we'll see another rush from the guys over in Outdone movement. If we do, I'll be impressed and very, very excited, but I mean, let's see if they go for it again. And the big question, NTNS, do you have what it takes? Can you figure out what these guys were trying to do and stop them, as a Blackbeard is shown maybe as a 6 pick? Will it be confirmed? Just might be. The Blackbeard coming out. Once again, usually an operator I only see most of the time on Coastline.
Yeah, Blackbeard, he has a little bit of a limited use case, but we will see him come out here. I want to talk about last round, though. it seems like the side of Outdone Movement kind of saw a weak link in the setup from NTNS. And what they did was just rush onto site. They sprinted on in, got that diffuser down. They held the rotate with a absolute skillfulness, and there was really no chance for NTNS beyond that point. And looking at the operator lineup, we've got what looks to be the same set of 5. I should have written it down, but ultimately this is what we will see. The Evil Eye downstairs, like I mentioned, inside of stage, really played no part in winning that round because the Thermite for Outdone Movement did not make any attempt to even get the wall open and simply just bypassed it. So maybe we'll see that again, or maybe Outdone Movement will take a little bit of a more measured execute.
Yeah, I feel like they are going for a little bit of a more measured, as you put. You don't usually see a Thermite on the on that wall there going into the lovely garage, but we'll see it here. And that provides a lot of open air and a nice little angle all the way upstairs to potentially take down some of those guys peeking in from CCTV. At this point, NTNS, I mean, they need to figure out a way to shut them down real quick. Outdone Movement could catch up to a 4-4 easily. And you've seen in chat that, I mean, some people are expecting the comeback. So it very well could happen at this point. NTNS really need to lock down on defense, and we'll see if they can. As right now, a lot of droning going on. About a minute has drained away. Reloaded. Finally beginning to move in slowly. Looks like a pretty heavy barrage push. You can see those guys on cams. Look at them and the little feetsies being shown. A little bit of leggage. There's TK doing a lot of cam work here.
Yeah, just hold down this angle, and I think what we're going to be seeing here, probably a garage take, though the defense, they might be able to counter it. We've got AU sitting here near small steps, and as soon as what's left from Outdone Movement tries to charge on in, they might be caught in a gunfight. Though, we've got Jason holding the flank of the castle. A great play here, and this might just be what NTNS struggle with, though AU's in the meantime gets a pick anyway. Tapping heads with the UMP, joined now by Kunai, and maybe soon by Jason, who still continues to hold the doorway. The castle makes an odd decision to flank and hold the angle. Oh no, he goes prone. What a smart play from AU's there. He baits Jason to try and come for the rush, and they're ready to cut him down here. We've got 45 seconds left in this one, and a real limited skeleton presence, though. What a play. Paka, he rushes on in.
Oh, they do indeed. So we still got Paka and Vosi up. Paka taking a lot of damage and should die. And Kryptonite will find another side with Kunai. And just like that, we are heading into a big round for NTNS. Shut down OM and now it was a good play as we will see them pull back the lead to a nice 3-5. They're just 2 away from winning it all, and away from taking us to match point. A lot of work has to be done by Outdone Movement, but at this point, NTNS just seems to be on point. They'll head now to Church Arsenal, another strong side, not in the case of the defensive side of Outdone Movement. That was a little bit rough, but maybe it'll be better for NTNS. They got a strong setup. Bandit going to be switched over to the Wamai. Very nice. And the IQ to the IQ. Very exciting. 6 picks is Wamai, a very strong operator. We didn't see him on Cafe, where he's normally used quite a bit, but we'll see him here on a Church Arsenal defense, looking to shut down the guys on Outdone Movement for a second time in a row.
On the defensive half for Outdone Movement, they really struggled a lot playing this bottom floor bomb site. We'll have to wait and see whether or not NTNS struggles the same fate, though ultimately I think they've got a fresh start and a fresh chance to be able to reach match point. You talked about Outdone Movement being close to tagging and really equalizing, though it's 3-5 now. They lose that last round. Ultimately, their execution did not seem to be the right one for the task. In NTNS, they've just really outplayed Outdone Movement, so we'll see them take round number 8. 3-5 here. NTNS, they've got a good opportunity to win it. Though, ultimately heading down to the bottom floor bomb site, a lot of things remain uncertain.
Absolutely, man. And at this point, it's going to be big for OM to try to make that comeback. They need to be able to execute well. You see the drones going up on the second floor, excuse me. I'm in cafe mode for some reason. Second floor trying to figure out if there are any roamers, which we don't really see all too many. And already the Ash is in there clearing as well. So a pretty turtle defense coming out from NTNS, wanting to have all 5 of their guys fairly close to sight, making sure that the attack will be stunted, if at all possible, when Outdone movement. Need to be able to prepare well. About 2 minutes remaining, and this is gonna be pretty dang crazy. Paka moving in, trying to get this wall open, headed into dirt. And with that, the attack is going to slowly begin. Sixer opening up a little bit of the floorboards here, trying to get everything nice and opened up, taking down some cameras, taking out some pesky music. And the G8 in hand is a very good weapon. Ayuz, however, finds Jason. First frag as the Ash will go down. I say it all the time, man. Ash is either your first frag or your first fragger, and that time she will indeed be the first one to go down. Let's see what this is gonna go on to, as OM looking for a big round, but they're already down a man with about 1:20 to go. Gonna be real tough for them to win this one out.
Down on the man count, everything seems to be going against the side of Outdone movement. Though with time trickling down, the lower it gets, the more explosive things tend to be. And once we get low on time, that can be like rattling the cage of a trapped animal. And the offense can really get a lot done quickly. We see a team like Vitality way back in the day, or actually I'm thinking of Supremacy, the old EU team, were able to create some of the most explosive last-second executes, though we've got the smoke canister detonating, which is going to serve to slow down the offense more and more. And it doesn't seem like we're going to be heading the way of an Outdone movement round with 2 opening picks. I believe it was the Goyo chiming in there, though a trade is in, freezing to find a kill of his own. 2 on 4, they're going to be forced to come through this tunnel, choking on the gas. Oh no! It'll be Vosi to go down by the hand of Kryptonite, and Sixer is left alive. He's got the G8, but not enough time. He's able to get 1 kill. Unfortunate for freezing there. He won't get the KD this round, but nobody decides to push him, and NTNS win round number 9 and put themselves on match point.
Match point indeed. This is big news for these guys that they are looking to absolutely decimate at this time. Very scary team here, as I'm excited to find out how this is going to go. Gym Bedroom coming up ready, and they have a chance to win right here. They can shut them down. We'll head to our next matchup, but a lot of faith in chat for Outdone movement. Is it misplaced? I don't know. They might be able to do something crazy, but things are just looking very grim for them. It's 3-6, potentially a 7-3 ending, as NTNS has been on fire for the past couple of rounds, now looking for the win. This could be all.
Like you said, this might be the match-defining moment, whether or not Outdone movement is given the opportunity to struggle forth and attempt the overtime, or will NTNS be able to claim victory? It's been a close fight through both maps. Though we saw it was Outdone movement, I believe, ultimately coming out on top in the majority of rounds. It's been an incredible night so far. We might yet see overtime, though it'll be down to Outdone movement. If they've got the plan necessary in order to win this round, we will be 1 step closer. But
10 seconds left.
it seems like NTNS, in their defensive stratagem, they've been on a roll, and they've had all the momentum necessary.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
Momentum is definitely something important to think about, and NTNS do have quite a bit of it. We've seen Jim be quite powerful indeed, and at this point, OM gonna be hard pressed to win this one out. NTNS have looked good for a while, and I mean, look at the kills. We just got back from Rehos already. Everyone, in fact, all people on NTNS are over a 1.0 KD. They're all going positive, and that means a lot. Castle going to be slowing some stuff down, use some utility, got to get that open. And at this point, OM, what are you going to be able to do? 3 rounds in a row, take it to overtime. Can you get that far? Your fans sure hope so.
If I'm thinking way back, the last time we saw an East to West pick, I believe it was the defense who were successful. So this gives them a little bit of a favor, though ultimately anything could happen in what has been a very close second half. The G8 will rattle off in the pre-fire, making sure that Jaeger, I believe, is never given an opportunity to find a pick. Though
Bomb
we've
located
seen
by
a
attackers.
lot of these gunfights change in a flash and go either way. We've got Jason prepared to remove the castle barricade, it seems. Though actually out of breaching rounds, it will not be possible. What a shot! Kunai will find 2 big ones. What a set of kills here, and what a difference maker for NTNS. That might just be what they need, though. Jason hits one on the fadeaway to shut down Kunai's killing spree. A headshot of his own here. Time is ticking down, and the offense, they need to move now and move fast. If they want a chance, AUs, though, will take the first step. He shuts down Pickles, and now we've got another one. Freezing is able to claim the life of Jason. It's left up. All the pressure, everything we built upon for this whole series is left upon the shoulders of the Thermite. 50 seconds marks the clock, and this will be what defines it all.
Oh yeah, this is gonna get crazy, man. And we do have word about the first map asking in chat, but NTNS will end up winning. A good headshot from Ayuz takes down Paka. What a game. Will be able to go on. NTNS taking it 7. Oh man, great stuff. 7-3 goes to NTNS. So the next matchup will in fact be against Outdone Nightmare, Unreal Nightmare Academy. As well as the guys on Digital Dynasty. The first map has already been seen as it was a 7-4 victory in favor of Unreal Nightmare. So good job to them. We'll be heading over there in just a couple of moments, so don't go too far. We'll be right back, and we'll see you soon.